And like that, we back. This ain't the To Be Fair show. This is Unpacked. Unpacked, presented by the To Be Fair show, featuring sponsored by as well. Damn. Hold on, I almost got to reset this. We took a week off and it fucked up everything. Good God. All right, nonetheless, we back again. This is Unpacked, presented by the To Be Fair show and
the G Shit podcast.
All right, and we back with a good one, a spicy one, some might say. Something very, very current. We're gonna talk about Kamala Harris. Kind of trying to attack it from multiple sides. And yeah, just kind of talk through everything that's in the ether right now, that's in the air. When it comes down to her, is she being embraced? I seen the hashtag Black Men for Kamala. I've also seen the memes where she said that she don't know if she's gonna do anything for Black folk. So before we get too deep into the conversation, I'd love for the panelists to introduce themselves. And yeah, we'll start with G. Top.
Appreciate everybody joining. It's G, host of the G Shit podcast. You can check that out anywhere. Check it out on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button at GSHPOD. Make sure you enjoy that wherever you get your podcasts. Hi.
Beside him, we got Trey. Talk to him, Trey.
What's good? I'm a guest on the panel to do my best, do the best ambassador FBA perspective that I can do. Looking forward to an interesting conversation, as always.
Yes, sir. Below we have one of the favorites. Talk to him, Johnny.
What up? 1/3 of the To Be Fair show. You catch us every Sunday, 4:30. Shout out Naj Hood, great guest this past Sunday. Y'all go run that one up. Hit subscribe, notification, comment below, tap in on the chat. Yeah, look forward to it. Let's get it.
And a Charlotte legend. Talk to him.
What's up, everybody? It's A Black. Happy to be here. Glad we be able to speak on this current event and this topic. And yeah, I'm ready to get it.
All right. So before we actually jump directly into politics specifically, I was on social media and there was a status that came across. And I'd love to get y'all opinion before we literally do what the status says that they tired of. It says, I wish more people will keep their political views and opinions to themselves. This was shared on socials. Looked like it had about 98 likes or something like that. What is y'all opinion on that? Do you think that we should go back to a time where we heard less opinions about everybody's political views and perspectives and ideas? Or do you think that this is actually healthy in building, like the Black, like strength within like the Black vote within the Black community? However you kind of want to unpack it. Fellas, thoughts?
I mean, I think with social, I think with a lot of the freedoms that the internet gives us, there comes like a lot of responsibility. And I think if you're just going to get on the internet and just talk nonsense and not really know what you're saying, you probably shouldn't do it. And it could be used in a bad way. But if it's, informed discussion back and forth on social media, I think it could be a good thing. But ultimately, if you're not going to do the homework, you probably shouldn't say nothing.
So you think it's better that people keep their political views to themselves?
Ultimately,
okay.
Yeah.
I would say I think it's good to know where people stand, so you don't have to assume how people are thinking. There is the bad side of a lot of misinformation, a lot of uneducation. The social media landscape makes everybody an expert temporarily on any topic. So, you have things that kind of devolve just into emotional projections instead of real intellectual dialogue. But I wouldn't say people need to be quiet. I think people need to see how smart, how dumb, how informed, how uninformed the populace is. So you know what you're dealing with.
I pretty much agree with what y'all are saying. It's just a product of this age of social media where everyone has a voice, whereas before there wasn't much dissension, especially from the Black community. it was just vote blue no matter who, because grandmama said so. And then now that we have, people that are able to kind of speak up and like more candidly, then I think it's good that we are able to have access to more information. But again, like Ablad was saying, I think John was saying this too. If you don't have a politically informed opinion and you can't cite your sources, then sometimes it does just muddy the water and just expose your ignorance. But that's worth noting as well, though.
Mm.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much in the same boat. But where I'll say, like, what I don't like is how people try to weaponize opinions. Like, I think people should have that room to share their thoughts. And then what I don't like is when, like, the echo mob will try to bully people who don't think the same way that they do on social media. So I think that's one of the unfortunate parts about social media, is that even though it's nice to have that dialogue, what often ends up happening is you get these tribes, these echo chambers, and then because it's social media, you got them Twitter fingers, if you will, folks who like to talk very reckless and offensive just because you're different than them or have a different opinion. Mm-hmm. And that's my biggest thing with social media. It's like this whole thing is so polarizing, like good versus evil, when in reality it's like half the country think one way, half the country think the other way. That don't necessarily mean like half of them good, half of them's evil. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it's evil spread all throughout, in my opinion. But I think it should be there, but I just hate the way it's weaponized and used as like a lynch mob, so to speak, online.
No, for sure. And I guess what I'd say is, especially if you kind of like extrapolate it to the bigger quote, which ends up being the whole, not to talk about politics and religion and shit like that in general. And that's how to keep friends or whatever that quote kind of like denotes. But to me, it always seems like, or to me, the more I began talking in general about whether it's politics and religion, et cetera, the more you kind of start finding out it's a lot of people that think very similar. And a lot of times that those similar thoughts end up being on different sides of the aisle. And I don't know, it always seemed like a little bit of like a bit of a control mechanism, kind of like how like they tell you not to talk about how much you make at your job. Where in essence, that's really for the boss man, because like if none of the employees actually talk about how much you make, he can kind of like pay everybody how he feels and kind of, get over. I look at it very similar when it comes down to people in general. And when you don't talk about it, it's easy to make things very polarizing. And you can say words like it's going to be the end of democracy, or, like this person gets in, it's going to be nothing but trans and sexual education in kindergarten.
Handmaid's Tale. We're going back to the Handmaid's Tale. Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of extreme fear mongering. It's not really
extreme.
Basic.
Yeah. And I think that ends up being a byproduct of it. But I do agree, the idea of like weaponizing and the cancel culture that does come with it. Right now, the Kamala mob is on Facebook. They outside right now. So, and like what it's been 3 days, they outside. They got they got their pitchforks and they trying to find one. And I think that in itself is still like a scary thing, because it's pushing everybody to almost be the black monolith that we say that we're not.
Man, but yeah, that's a good question, man. Because you remember when Trump seemed like he didn't have a lot of support until election night, and then we saw all the people come out in droves. I wonder if like they got their person in there, so maybe it is a good idea to not talk about things, because I think they're trying to push a gender divide, and it seems like a lot of black men are not really taking the bait with Kamala. And then what's the point in arguing? We can just vote how we want to vote. What's the point in even talking about it?
I guess that is the point. I think they call it the loud minority.
Right.
Right. Go ahead. All right. So any closing thoughts on that before we kind of move on? All right. Well, so nonetheless, last week we wasn't able to make it, but I think that it's almost fitting for us to start off our conversation recapping, one of the bigger things that's happened inside recent years, where we had former President Donald Trump at a rally shot at. I'll play the clip and then we can kind of unpack some conversations around it.
And then the worst president in the history of our country took over. And look what happened to our country. Probably 20 million people. And that's a little bit old, that chart. That chart's a couple of months old. And if you want to really see something that said, take a look at what happened.
All right, that's enough. He I guess if I spoiler alert, he gets up, he throws up the fist, goes back, get his shoes, and then he walks off. Fellas, thoughts in general. What was y'all thoughts when it happened, and what are y'all thoughts now?
My thoughts was, what happened before that was the presidential debate, and you saw the cognitive decline of Joe Biden, and all of the talk after that debate was he can't win, he can't beat this guy. And then this attempt, whether it's, some say it's staged, but somebody did die, somebody was injured. But I think it's funny the selective belief people have. When Trump says the election was stolen, they don't believe that. When Trump says I took a bullet, they don't believe that. So it's like people pick and choose what they want to believe from him. I don't know if it was staged or not, but I just found it funny, the timeline of when it happened, and then after the attempt failed, real or fake, then the next week Biden steps down after this whole parade of I'm not going nowhere, I'm running, they can't get me out of here for 3 weeks. Attempt failed. Now it's like, all right, we couldn't kill him, we got to get Biden out of here because this dude can't win. So maybe I watch too much Scandal and 24 and TV, but I always think it's some type of a scheme going on both sides. But I just thought the timeline was funny of when it happened, and then how after that happened, then Biden kind of falls back, so. Yeah, go ahead, Jordan.
Hey, but before we get, because like last time we talked, like before we get into like the schemes of like what it could have been and what we think, and like if we just take it at face value, somebody tried to shoot the man, they missed very 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 close, like it was a miss, and the way he reacted in real time, I looked at it and I was like, I mean, it's kind of some badass shit. Like to see it in real, to almost get shot, to stand up. I mean, if it's not staged or whatever, if that really happened, like, and let's take it at face value. I mean, what could Joe Biden do to like show more strength than that at this point in his like what else could he have done except just bow out when Trump just took that but and looked so strong in the moments right after. So I think that had a lot to do with Biden dropping out, is the way that Trump reacted to it. I think it's kind of tough to, if you're Biden, to show any more kind of leadership or strength than what happened at that moment.
I have to say, when it first went down, like realistically, the fact that this young man was able to get to where he got, have that clear line of sight, it screams questionable. At minimum, the fact that this was able to even get to this point. Biden was just in the triangle and niggas couldn't even get on 40. Okay. Like when the Secret Service come through, they do thorough investigate, check out the area, coordinate with local authorities.
But that's the president versus a former president, and Trump has his own security detail that works with the Secret Service.
So even more, you got the private militia and you got the Secret Service, and whether you a current or former president, once you're a president, you getting Secret Service protection. And so the fact that this happened was like, how did this happen? I do think it's like a Manchurian candidate situation personally. Like, I don't know what triggered the young man or how he was programmed or what happened, but I do feel like that Manchurian candidate is like something happened that sparked this to activate, so to speak. And but now as I look at it, it's like I'm thinking in real time when he did the fist pump and everything, I was like, oh, this nigga's an icon. He got the fist pump, blood on his face, like his base can't ask for nothing better. But then now I'm looking at the reaction to Kamala. I'm like, damn, Republicans might have peaked too early. They might have got all their momentum a little too early. And now here come the Democrats about to hit the black folks with the okie doke once again to carry the party through, to make it happen once again. And now it's like, maybe he's an icon for that moment, but I don't necessarily know in today, in this present time, if that moment is going to be enough to carry him through based off of what I've been seeing recently.
That's a tough moment.
Not to cut Trey out, just to add, about the shooter, he was 20 years old, and after the shooting, a lot of the same typical rhetoric came out about white men, young white dudes. He was bullied, he was this, he was that. Even the guy who went on TV saying he was bullied kind of seemed like a paid actor, but he's 20 years old, and they say he was a Trump supporter and he voted for Trump, but that wouldn't match up time-wise. He wouldn't be able to vote 4 years ago because he wouldn't be eligible age-wise. So I don't know why they just a lot of shit didn't add up, like with his age. And then like a lot of people were assuming, I guess, the Secret Service are not, in on it, or he can't have people that will allow, they saying people saw him, the Secret Service saw him walk up there, the Secret Service saw him on the roof and turned around, the guy pointed a gun at him, like just all things that didn't really line up. So I don't know, whatever happened was fishy, and then we don't even hear nothing about the shooter no more. Like it's just like vanished from media, talking points and everything. It's just like, oh, that's over, like what's next? But I don't know if an assassination happened on Biden or attempt, like we'd still be talking about it, like it would be pandemonium right now. But I wishing death on any candidate. I just feel like death, trying to kill him, the fear mongering, like they don't have no way to really beat the dude without killing him. Or it was 6 months ago trying to put him in jail, and oh, he's about to go to jail, and he didn't go to jail. So like, what next can we do? Like I don't know, just all of that things makes you weary about the Democratic Party, and this doesn't make you like a Trump supporter, but it make you look at the other side, like, what are y'all doing? Because y'all not are proposing anything that's helping nobody. It's just promoting fear. We've had 2 presidencies with both of them. Trump didn't put us in chains. Niggas like couldn't not go to work, couldn't do all of these things. So you have two administrations to judge now. You can't like just, oh, he about to be the boogeyman with again. And he's already been in, and like he wasn't the boogeyman. Like niggas could still be free and do what they wanted to do. So yeah, it's just weird. The whole thing, this whole timeline is very weird right now.
Man, it's weird. It's weird as hell, man. Like, I think it was very convenient because it neutralized all that boogeyman talk. Because now they can say, well, see, all this boogeyman talk about Trump all the time is why you're fueling people to go try to assassinate him. Because I even saw when Joy Reid started doing that on MSNBC, continuing the boogeyman talk, and then they, her non-black co-host and everything kind of jumped on her and say, no, we're not doing that anymore. So like you neutralize.
Joy Reid is horrible. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Bro, I can't stand her, bro. Last week she said black men were like who go to Trump rallies are akin to like white supremacists or something like that.
She also said that Joe Biden making it past COVID is like the same as Trump's assassination attempt.
Bro,
no, she'll kind of say. No, I promise you, she did.
Didn't she say she'll vote for Trump? Yeah, even if he like pooping on himself and she was in the coma, she would vote for Trump or Biden in the coma over Trump.
Like, she'll say anything on the internet, or I guess she on cable news, but yeah, she'll kind of say anything.
But like even with the COVID part, the dude went on national TV to push vaccines and took a vaccine in front of us, and then all of a sudden after the debate and people are questioning, you know, his health, his mental capacity, oh, now he has COVID. Like, and then
Right.
and that goes away.
Convenient.
Now he's stepping out. And I'm like, well, don't he got the vaccine? And like,
And he got COVID light. You know, this ain't even the
Yeah.
COVID. You know, this like the water. This COVID been stepped on many a times. This ain't even it.
The Omarion COVID or something.
And then Joy Reid, she's a foreign descent, but I think she's like first generation Congolese. So yeah, you know, just take that.
It's never a time will pass. Understand it.
I think it's important to note that when people come and speak for Black Americans who don't share our culture, we should look at that with a side.
Did he say fourth generation?
No, first.
Oh, okay.
That boy Trey got a list. Bro.
Yeah, she was.
Like,
Yo.
Because they called her out because she was speaking out on the way Black people have been treated in America. The white guy was like, "Didn't you move here? Didn't your people move here on purpose?" And you complained about like white folk. Like, so I don't know. But real quick, I agree with what G was saying. It's just hard to believe the Secret Service is so inept as to allow like someone to creep up that close to a building that should have been secured. And then like the ear bleeding with no cut.
Have you seen the police though? Like a lot of things are inept in this country. It's not like, I mean, a lot
But
of
Secret Service different, bro. Secret Service is a different level of
candidate that's trying to become the president. And it's
I don't know. I guess my pushback would be, did you see that lady try and holster her gun?
Nah.
It's kind of hard saying like Secret Service is on a different level when she couldn't get that gun in there.
But that's what I'm saying. I think Joe Biden got the better Secret Service.
Yeah, you get assigned as Secret Service.
He got Secret Service premium. He got the premium
assigned to like current presidents, former presidents, presidents' kids, like, and you know, on your expertise, your acumen, you get the highest level, and the lower you go, then all right, we're gonna send you to protect, you know, Hillary Clinton or somebody who's far removed from office. So, you know, it's just this assumption that the Democrats don't got the Secret Service in their pocket, or they can't have an inside man, or they can't like tell somebody to look the other way, you know. But he got the Secret Service.
And the anti-DEI Republicans are saying this is why women don't need to be in the Secret Service. They say they're not even tall enough to cover for this nigga. That's what they saying. The anti-DEI Republicans, they say, you know, that's what they on now, that Kamala is a DEI candidate. And then they like, this is why we don't need DEI. That's why they couldn't protect the president. They got women on stage. Like, I'm telling you, they wild, boy.
Oh, no, they're going for. I'm mad that we had a DEI conversation and never made it to DEI. We got stuck on critical race theory. It was crazy. But as we kind of move in the conversation forward,
can I throw one?
I'm gonna throw.
No, I didn't get to finish. It's all good.
You didn't. My bad. I continue as we look at. They're calling this Joe Cole.
Oh man. That's crazy.
The meme kind of says it all.
I ain't seen this one, bro. That shit hilarious, though. That shit is funny.
Drake ain't like us. Kamala definitely ain't like us. So that mean Trump is Kendrick.
Johnny.
You're taking it too far now.
No. I'm just based on how it's going.
Johnny, oh my goodness.
Kamala do fit that Drake box though in a lot of ways, but
I've seen that meme too.
I don't like it either.
My bad. Let me find that.
Bro,
Johnny, I think you said that you had something. Trey, you was trying to land your point.
Yeah, I was trying to land this real quick, man. If somebody's shooting at you, do you stand up and put your fist up before they neutralize the shooter, or do you stay down until they get you up, bro? Like what? Like who does that? And then on top of that,
it was already done when he came up.
He like got up pretty quickly after the shooting was still going on, holding up the fist. I don't care if
I only seen the chops where like time passed and then they pick him up.
And I don't think the good Secret Service would have allowed him to just be exposed again with shots being fired. It's like, nah, like you are now
putting your hands in front of your face like this. I was
like this, bro. Like
I will say if it was fake, if it was staged, the marketing team was on point with that one. I don't know how they, but that was like, and if that's the marketing team they got, then Kamala in trouble because like that was just
Now Kamala marketing crazy too though. Like she on fire.
She raised like 100 million.
She went from I thought she was unpopular to being like the hottest thing on the streets. Like she she went like Cardi B, like Kodak Black on him, like Kodak Yellow.
We gonna talk about.
I call cap.
How she raised that money? We don't know she raised that money. That could be immediate.
We don't.
To
Yeah, I mean that's true. The money just came out of
popularity, but like we have to just believe that. Like, but where the receipts? How do we know?
Now I'm gonna tell you with that real talk. This is one of the reasons why I think they had to pick her was because legally speaking, all the funds that Biden raised
can funnel to her.
It could only be legally used by one person, and Biden had raised an extraordinary amount of money up until that point. So what had happened was that some of the big contributors was like, nah, we squeezing, putting a pause on the funds. And when the announcement was made, it's like the dam got broke, like the levee broke, and all that stuff came pulling in. So I'm not trying to suggest that like there's not some puppeteering or, you know, some things going on in the background to make this look a certain way. However, before they made this announcement, I thought she was wildly unpopular. I did. And now I'm seeing niggas on Zooms. They got white girls on Zooms. They got a white girl Zoom. They got like all this shit that I just was like, wow, I didn't think that this much. I didn't see the response being like this, honestly. It was a surprise in a way where it's like, I'm questioning, like, did the Republicans peak too early?
And because of that,
you know how that Illuminati works. Like you know how it goes when it comes down to like the corporate fund. Like we live in a corporatocracy. We know them people don't really run the country. They're getting paid off, and it's lobbyists that come and had them little envelopes and stuff. So I mean, if you're the one that's like the chosen one by the corporations, by whatever we want to call that thing, then of course as soon as you get it, they're gonna treat you the same way because you're their chosen one. And it's like that's the option they're giving the people. It's not what the people are choosing. It's just what they're giving us.
Man, and the last thing I was gonna land with, man, if there's a grades wound, you would expect more like a cut or something. It's just giving me the vibes of like the Megan Thee Stallion Tory Lane situation where like you got shot, but like
are you talking about Trump?
Dance now.
Yeah. It was bleeding, but then like you doing a speech the next week, like Megan Thee Stallion was twerking the next week, like you got grades. I don't know, man. It just
I guess let me ask you this. To me, this is where I probably took more credence that it probably was at least an attempt at his life. Like if we go background, whatever, who knows which side it was on. There's conspiracies with the shooter where, you know, we can go down that and unpack that if you want. But there was like a person that died that was behind him. You had like 3 people that was in critical condition. So like there were shots that did happen. What do you want to say? Like his ear thing was off the teleprompter glass or something like that, or he actually did get shot in the ear. But it seemingly there was, you know, real bullets that shot and killed people.
The dude that died was actually in front of him. The dude that died was in between him and the shooter, and he just got hit. The other 2 people that survived were actually behind him.
Was behind him, yeah.
But the one that died, he was actually in between the gunman and the shooter. I did have one hypothetical. I don't know where this would take us, but like it being so close, like, hey, we don't know if it was fake or not, but like what would have happened if it actually did hit?
That's the question I was about to lead to.
And I got another question at work where I was like
January 6th.
Well, no, but what about this? This the scarier thing. It's like a black man in America. What if it was like a black dude that went up there?
Oh, he wouldn't have made it. He would have made it to the roof, my nigga. Like one, you can't be walking around at a Trump rally as a nigga with a gun, like or a rifle, like as if like you could just move freely. Like you're not even gonna make it to the roof.
Yeah, it would be the first. That would be the first time a black man has ever tried to assassinate a public figure. That's the usual suspect type. That's a school shooter type of situation.
They're not gonna let a black man get on that roof.
Yeah, but I guess
going by you without touching you, can it cause you to bleed without like touching you?
I don't really have
yes, like it can with the like it don't have to hit you to damage you.
Okay,
I don't know how close it has to get, but it don't have to actually hit you to damage you if it's close enough.
But I guess I love for everybody to engage on Johnny's first question, where if the bullet actually did hit the intended target, what do you think today would be like?
we'll be having like a damn civil war damn near. I feel like for one, the Democrats will win in the landslide, no matter who, because the Republicans will be facing the same issues of not having a candidate prepped that the Democrats are facing right now. But yeah, it would make him a martyr. It would validate a lot of the things he says, true or false. But I think killing him would be worse than him surviving, actually. So that's why it could be staged, because I don't think they would really want to kill him, because they would rile up, that populace so much. Like he like white Malcolm X or white Martin Luther King to them, like
That'd have been crazy.
those MAGA people.
They meant white Malcolm.
Yeah, so they would feel like you're taking away their choice, you're taking away their leader, and they go take matters into their own hands, like they did, January 6th, So I feel like the rise in our deaths, black men would rise. I think it would just get bad out here for real. So I'm really glad that he didn't get killed. But I don't want nobody to get killed. I want it to be a fair race, and that's my main issue with this Kamala thing is we didn't get to vote for her. Like there wasn't no primaries. And I looked at today the DNC 2020 debate, and all these Democrats that are coming out supporting her now were trashing her then. Her numbers were terrible. She didn't even make it to the second round of those candidates. She herself was attacking Joe Biden and saying that, I put some of the stuff in the chat, but it's a lot of hypocrisy in the party right now because y'all don't like this chick. He picked her because of her attacks of him being a segregationist, and he needed to balance out. He a woman and a person of color, but her party didn't like her. But the fact that their main thing is that Trump is an attack on democracy, but we don't even get to vote for a Democratic nominee. It's crazy to me. I know it's quick. I know it's 3 months, but the people don't have a say. She just call up delegates and just all of a sudden she's the nominee without no votes at all. To me, that's crazy. That's not democracy at all. It's very hypocritical of what they're saying.
I think this is the meme that you sent in. This kind of goes along with what you're saying. You can keep going.
Yeah, and like you said, since 1972, no Democratic nominee has been installed by delegates. This is a precedent, and a lot of the things that they're accusing the Republican Party of, taking away democracy, ushering in a so-called dictator, this is the same thing. You're taking away the choice of the people, and you're getting people riled up off emotion, off just the fear of anybody but Trump. Once again, it's this whole notion of anybody but Trump. He's going to do this, he's going to do that. But they just took away all Democrats' choice on picking a candidate that we feel can strongly beat this dude fairly, not just because they're a Democrat, not just because they're black, not just because they're a woman, because we chose this person based on what they're offering and their record, and we didn't get that choice.
So before we completely go into the Kamala conversation, because I can see that we kind of want to get there. I guess everybody's initial, or if y'all do have any reactions to Joe Biden actually dropping out, do y'all think that it was time? Do you think it was strategic? Kind of going along the lines of what A Black is speaking about, where he stayed long enough to where they didn't have to run her through a primary. Yeah, what are y'all thoughts? Was it time? He had just called the Russian, the Ukrainian president, or whatever he is, the leader, Putin. He had just called Kamala Harris Trump. Dementia was running crazy. Was it just time? I don't know. What's y'all thoughts?
The debate killed him.
Right.
And they scrambled to find a way. That's why I was like, after that, like I said, there was this whole promo, and I wish I could find the clip of all the talking heads, because they all say the same things. It's so funny. It's like they send out like a memo to these talking heads and talking about how sharp his mind is, all these things after the debate, while the people, jokingly or seriously, we've been seeing this decline for over the past year. We see him fall downstairs, we see him stumble over words, and we're seeing this dude is getting too old to be the leader of the most powerful country in the world. Like, do something now. So the fact that they didn't do anything, they didn't prep, nobody knew, they didn't give us a democratic choice. Like, it feels like it was strategic. It feels like they waited to a short time. So like, we don't have no choice but to keep Kamala installed. And the shit is wild. But the people have been calling this for the past year, and they've been telling us he's fine, he's smart, he's on point, he's sharp, and we're saying like you're looking at the same shit we seeing. Like, he's not. Like, the dude is old. Like, we got old people in our family. Like, we know how that decline works. His decline from 2020 to 24 has been super drastic, but they knew this. And then that's what you have with Kamala. 3 weeks ago of her saying, "Oh, his mental is on point, he's fine." Like, they all saying the same thing, and then it changes up after debate. After debate, he gets COVID, assassination attempt, and now he's putting out a letter about him stepping down that his old ass probably don't even know he wrote. Like, Joe Biden don't know what's going on. Like I feel like he's been a vegetable for a minute. Kamala's probably been running shit for all we know, but yeah,
You're a vegetable.
Yeah, they knew this dude was done, but I think the debate really cooked him because they saw the response, and then you got the big guns coming out, Barack, Nancy Pelosi, the Clintons. Like, all right, buddy, like, time to step down because one more debate with this dude, like, it's cooked. Like, whether they like Trump or not, they can't
really
have
one more public outing. Every time he just was getting on stage, he was kind of
it's
fucking
like,
up the church's money, as they say.
Yeah, it killed him.
Man, I think the reason why I say it's not strategic is because I don't again, before this recent change, I thought Kamala Harris was not viewed as a popular candidate. And the reason why I say it's not strategic is because a real strategy would have been to announce early that I'm a one-term president and we're going to open it up to give ourselves the best chance of winning, so to speak. That's a good strategy. Doing it this way is because of necessity, not being strategic, in my opinion. But but hold on. The other thing is if they gonna so that's why I say it's not that strategic. But on the other side of that is like, I feel it's just another example of the white male ego, okay? Because this is where I say Biden and Trump are not really that different. They're both two incompetent folks who have a seat where they have, and for their own personal benefit, don't want to give up the power that they have. They don't want to give it up. They don't want to let somebody else take charge. They want what's for their own personal benefit. And that's what I see a lot of this as. It's not strategic. It's just that Biden, like we said, was too old, couldn't hold himself up, and there was no other choice. And had he been a true leader, like Van Jones was on the TV talking about this is true leadership. Like, no, nigga. True leadership would have been to, from the start, say, I am a one-term president. We're going to have a primary to see who's going to run for the party and give the party a better representation of, say, what they would want to represent versus having to, for lack of a better word, settle for what they had to do to not lose all the money and momentum that they did build.
But my question or my pushback would be is like from the Democrat side, because who was going to be the better candidate that was going to have like any chance against Trump? And like, I think doing it this way, like the bamboozle, it does give them the best chance.
I think Gavin Newsom would have been a great candidate to on a national level. It just throwing one out there off the bat. Who is it? One of her VP nominees.
Do you think that would have been a better chance, like giving him a fair shot from the start, or just waiting to the end and doing the bamboozle and not really giving the people a chance? And then they just like, which one do you think would be more effective?
If you give Gavin Newsom a runway to campaign against all the other Democrats, I think he was in prime position to like make that next step to take over as the leader of the party, in my opinion, being governor of a state like California. when you can speak to like what you do in California, when you look at the country of America, like that's like a huge percentage of our economy, one state. You know what I'm saying? So
I get it.
So there were other, and arguably too, like when you look at, and I'm not even like necessarily saying these are people I'm a fan of. I'm just talking about from a strategic standpoint. You look at what's Pete Buttigieg or Buttigieg, the transportation secretary, gay white male, but he carries himself a certain way, like from the Midwest, so to speak. Like I think there are some other candidates that would have bubbled to the top that could have given Trump like a decent run for his money, in my opinion.
Now they saying Gavin Newsom probably would have been the one, but I also think that as much as California would have helped him, it would have hurt him as well.
Right,
like,
exactly.
Especially with a lot of like the newer laws and the homelessness and like the mass exodus of a lot of people from California.
I just think
kind of how California handled COVID, I think as well. But any closing words on Biden?
I just think the bamboozle might have been a great strategy based on the position the Democratic Party is in right now.
And real quick, I disagree. I think it was the best strategy they could have done with what they have, because like you were saying earlier, they needed the campaign money that was already given to her. They didn't really have time to raise more money. They didn't have time for a primary, so they needed to like bestow instant legitimacy on her by giving her like more of a coronation than, having her debate and then possibly, just run another person through the mud. And honestly, I think that they know they're going to lose because Trump is so popular compared to the Democrats right now. And if they lose, they get to pin it on Kamala Harris. And then they get to, and then they get to pin it on black men for not supporting her. So it's like
what's gonna be our fault?
FBA Trey with the layers. It's
gonna be our fault.
Yeah, because if black men are not gonna support her like that, then they're gonna say, well, oh, you didn't want to support your sister or whatever they are. You can already see the same way they did. The heavyset lady with the short hair in Atlanta, in Georgia.
Abrams.
The same way they did Stacey Abrams, how she blamed black men and everything. And the same way with Hillary Clinton, how they blame black men. We always get blamed for everything. And then
we like what? I say 13% of the population. Most if you take out the kids, maybe that's like 9% adults, and then who's eligible to vote, maybe like I'll give it 8%. Why is 8% of the population? And then split that, even men and women, it's even smaller percentage. Why do black men get the blame for this? Not Latinos, not white women, not white men like who just go unscathed, but black men are always the scapegoat for this. Like such a small percentage, and we always still predominantly vote Democrat. But as soon as this announcement happened, the attack on black men began, and I'm like, that's not going to help the situation. Like that's going to infuriate black men, but it's white women. Like that's who y'all need to be going after. Like, bro,
you asking why would they blame black men? Like, bro, that's America's favorite pastime.
No, I think that was rhetorical right there.
Logically, it makes no sense. Logically, it makes no sense. We don't have the numbers. We don't got.
That don't matter.
Like blame black men. It's like y'all. It's on y'all niggas. Like, come on, man.
Brace yourself, brothers.
So as we continue kind of moving down the timeline, and creeping towards Kamala, we slow walking it. There was the RNC that did happen. They brought out some of the favorites. They brought out the Amber Roses, Hulk Hogan's, the Kid Rocks.
Enough is enough, brother.
Right. So I found this interesting clip right here. I love to get y'all reaction. This is one of Trey's favorites, obviously. Dr. Umar. I'm gonna push play.
Democratic National Convention. I'm gonna try to get there because that's gonna be why would they choose a black woman over Trump when they didn't even choose Hillary Clinton over Trump? But I'm telling you this, brother. I'm going to the Democratic National Convention. I'm gonna try to get there because that's gonna be a circus. You ain't seen a nigga show in your life, like what you're about to see, because they got to outdo Hulk Hogan. They got to outdo Amber Rose. They got to outdo Ben Carson. You want to see a house coon show in Chicago like you have never seen. I cannot wait to see which rapper. I cannot wait to see which rapper, which basketball player, which football player, which comedian, which actor. I cannot wait to see which one of these house nigga celebrities is going to go to bat for the Democratic Party. And here's my thing, Art.
She already been to Paris.
You said what?
She already been to Paris and met the team with Braun and them. She already was shaking hands with them recently, like in practice. I just want to throw that out. Yeah.
So yeah, I guess, is there any do y'all think that the DNC is going to match the energy? We had the RNC. So just branching that before we dive deeply into it. What's your reaction to what Umar said?
I like what he said about like it's just waiting to see, you know, like it just see who's gonna step out, because, and I don't know how many people saw that, but that's kind of like a call out. It's like if I saw that and I was planning to go, I'd probably be like, ugh. You know, I'd think about it. So, you know, just to see who's gonna be there and what kind of, you know, what they gonna say. I'm very interested. You know, I don't know who might pop out. It could be anybody.
Plies, Cardi B, you know, the usuals.
Lil Durk. It's gonna be in Chicago. Keith. They not third.
I don't know.
We know it's not gonna be Kanye. We do know that. They probably at least get Common though. They'll probably at least get Common. It won't be Kanye though.
Pusha T.
Nah, they ain't gonna get Pusha. They
Oh, he was just a
celebrities, you know.
Talib Kweli.
You better chill before you drop a diss song on your ass.
Yeah,
he got kicked off IG.
Thank God. I wonder where you been, that dude. But that's another topic. But yeah.
He's also Tether as well, by the way. So is Plies.
Yeah, like the comments said, they can't use Diddy no more.
Yo, did y'all see? Like, I do think the Democratic convention is going to be just as much of an entertainment spectacle as the Republican convention. But like, on a complete side note, this dude Byron Donalds, have y'all like seen this dude like at all?
Yeah.
Like, aside from the fact that he's you know, like Dr. Umar say, snow bunnies, he be dipping in with the snow bunnies. I think he's married to one. You know, aside from that, I think he's a pretty impressive gentleman overall. Like,
bro,
what do y'all think?
Bro, did you know he said that black people should pay white folks reparations?
No, he did not.
I think you're getting him confused with the governor of
North Carolina.
Yeah, the dude that's trying to run for whatever.
Yeah,
those are different guys.
The lieutenant governor of North. That's another issue on a whole other side note. If this nigga Roy Cooper gets the vice presidency, the lieutenant governor is the crazy dude running for governor. Mark. I
don't remember his name, but I know you're talking about
Uncle Ruckus.
Byron Donald. His big thing was, in which it was another Joy Reid interview, was I think that he said that the black family structure was more together during Jim Crow or some shit like that, and that got taken to the idea that he said black people were better during Jim Crow. And so that's been like the big thing inside the news that they had kind of running around. If you just put Byron Donald, Jim Crow, you'll kind of see that whole thing. That was his whole little witch hunt moment.
Hey man, I just you know, I don't, like, that's what I'm saying. I'm not really big on, like, I'm looking for somebody that is as impressive of a politician as a black male his age on the Democratic side. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's just my thoughts on it. It's like, I'm just giving credit where I see his dude. You know, I feel like he plays the part well. I don't know if y'all saw any of his speeches or interviews since, but yeah, I was kind of like, this is an interesting person that the Republican Party got in their back pocket. I'm curious to see how they use him as a chess piece moving forward, even though he's married to a snow bunny.
Yeah, I got to research him more. I did a quick little scroll, but I got to research him more.
Gotcha. Okay. All right. So, quick sidebar. I think that this is what let me find it really quickly. But I think this is what Johnny was speaking about when he said Kendrick Lamar and damn. Oh, here we go, right here. When he said Kendrick Lamar and Drake and Kamala Harris. Is this what you were saying?
If Drake not like us, then Kamala Harris ain't either.
And y'all put Joe Biden with J. Cole. Y'all put Kamala with Drake. So what's the obvious finish to that analogy?
Even though I think that's an inaccurate meme, but I thought that was funny. The fact that these are starting to circulate around.
What's inaccurate about that?
Well, I think that Kendrick wasn't specifically saying that Drake wasn't like us because he was half FBA. I mean, like I don't know what his father is. If he's half black and half Canadian Jewish. As much as he's saying he's not of the culture in general, like he didn't start becoming black. Yeah, he didn't start like leaning into anything black until after he was trying to be a rapper. Like he has bar mitzvahs and he went to school where he was predominantly around Jewish people. He was denouncing Toronto slang, saying how corny it was. He wasn't of the culture specifically.
Let me ask this. I was gonna say, like, because Kamala is like almost the opposite. HBCU, Howard, Divine Nine, aka. From the outside in, when you look at her resume, she seemingly was somebody who embraced black culture, and so to speak. I'm just giving, say, the other side of the equation. I'm curious, based off of what Q said, like, what do y'all think about that opposite of somebody who doesn't descend from black American culture? I think she had a Jamaican dad and Indian mom, if I'm being accurate.
Right. Yeah.
And
Indian
even
Jamaican,
spent time living in Canada. She didn't even spend all her time growing up in America. She spent time living in Canada too, by the way, from what I understand. But she leaned into HBCU, Divine Nine. Like, does that give her some sort of credibility for like black identity?
I think that
only
boosts
to
her
people
above Drake. A lot of people going to Howard. A lot of people send their kids there to get the black culture side. You know, they might have grown up in suburbia. They might have grown up with, you know, mixed parents and the white side. So, you know, being an alumni there is two sides of Howard. The kids that, you know, had to scrap every penny to get there, and the kids that are legacy, and, you know, their parents and their great parents have been there since, you know, the mulattoes, as Trey spoke on one episode, have been there. So she gives me that vibe of she got a lot of her black culture from, you know, going to Howard, living in DC, AKA, and, you know, I think it is some credence to that, like, for sure. Like, but yeah, you get a lot of kids that kind of come from different areas that have been around no black people their whole life, and that HBCU experience is their first time, and it's intentional. You know, their parents would tell them, like, you're going to go to this black school because you need to know your other side. You need to be able to socialize with your other side. And if you're going into politics, you know, that's a big thing too. They send white students there as well, like, you know, who are going into politics and things. So like, hey, this is where you go to kind of learn black people, learn black culture. Let me send you to this HBCU. So I think that adds to her quote blackness for sure. Like I wouldn't liking her. I would put her above Drake culturally because of that, you know, because she had more American and Black American influence coming up.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Even though she was locking niggas up, crazy.
Yeah, bro. I don't know if we can just say just because a person went to Howard that bestows some black legitimacy on them. It's almost like when a white person can dance and gets a fade or something like that, and all of a sudden we're like, oh, you one of us. It's like we have this habit in our community of it takes the smallest amount of thing for us to latch on to you and deem you as like some representative, because Kamala, her birth certificate doesn't say black, it says Caucasian. Her mother says Caucasian. Her father's well, he's half Jamaican, Indian Jamaican, not black Jamaican.
Is that a fact? Is that a fact?
Yeah.
Her birth certificate say Caucasian, bro. Like, are
yeah. Yeah, I'll have to send that to you. I'll find it and put it in the
Look
chat.
it up, Quint. Oh shit, fuck it. I'll look
Nah,
it up.
I agree. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying in the context of like comparing her to Drake, I think that gives her a bump up.
Yeah, then you just specifically responding to the meme.
There's definitely
Well, I
a
mean-
lot of whitewashed and white mind kids and people that go there. Like I said, Howard is not monolithic. It's definitely two sides when you go there that are very like on the opposing spectrums of ideology. There's house nigga mentality. I'm about to go work for the government. I'm about to be clean cut. I'm about to try to rise up the corporate ladder. And then there's that side of Marcus Garvey, power. We need to be dismantling all this shit. And so you got those two dynamics there for sure. But yeah, I'm not saying just going there, automatically makes you black. But I'm saying a lot of people knowing that they're not intentionally sending their kids there in hopes that they can get culture.
All right, so but on top of that, like at least Drake has an FBA father who's of this country. Like Kamala Harris is a full out foreigner, and you're saying that she's has more legitimacy than Drake just because she went to Howard, even though like she's like part of some like privileged elite Hindu hierarchy. If you know about the casteism over there, it's very anti-black. And then she's like married to her situation. She has kids who also aren't of the lineage. So like she's done nothing except for benefit from black people and join our organizations who she might have not been.
Any natural kids though. I think she's just a stepmom.
She doesn't, but they don't ever even show her kids the way that they show everybody else's kids. It's like they're hiding them. Even like she raised part of them partly or not. But I don't know. They always
she's a stepmom. Yeah,
but they don't ever show her kids the way they show the Obama's kids.
Correct.
Bush's
they don't
kids,
show the family.
like,
Nah, they don't. You don't get the family shots where because all you see is just a white in a
that don't work for her.
Right.
Exactly.
And on top of that, everything she's done, like I think she was locked up a lot of sisters in California for like their kids having truancy and things like that. Primarily black women were arrested for that. And she worked with Gavin Newsom to do that. And also she worked to get a lot of brothers locked up for, weed, if it's just a small joint in their pocket. So
in California at that, like what we talking about.
So I don't even like Drake, but I'll put him over Kamala Harris.
I gotta agree with Trey on that one too. I gotta say.
I think that my only pushback would be we was only speaking about culturally, not like actual actions. I think that was the point that A Black was making, and the idea that she was engulfed in black culture prior to like a certain time, where Drake he denounced black culture up into a certain amount of time.
There videos of Drake, mocking black people, mocking black culture, how we speaking things when he using his white voice and stuff, and like, they both use it for a benefit. I think, Kamala, going to Howard, being an AKA, those are major networks in the black community, and I do believe, it's intentional when you're trying to rise in the political landscape to get those networks behind you. And we see the power of it now. We see what the AKAs just did, I'm seeing what Howard is doing. So it's like, it can be very strategic. And I'm not saying it make her like, blackity black, but like I was just speaking in the context of Drake, but I also know it's still a lot of whitewashed people that go to Howard, go to Hampton, and go to Spelman and, don't have our best interests and still, want to assimilate with whiteness for sure. Like,
Gotcha. All right. Well, shit. Fuck. We're here. I think this is pretty much the time to kind of fully hop into the Kamala conversation. I got two memes to start off with, and from there we'll kind of just kick the conversation off. We'll start here.
I'm going to do my part to speak up for what I feel like is right, regardless if I get a bunch of hate, because I genuinely care about my community, and I believe that this is what's best. A lot of my people are not doing their own research. Y'all are believing the first thing you are told, whatever you're fed by the media, and anything you hear, instead of taking the time to actually go out and research yourself. A lot of y'all were told that this woman is responsible for thousands of Black people being sent to jail, and that is not true. In fact, it's the exact opposite. Kamala was the most productive prosecutor of her time, even launching a program that aimed to hold police accountable. Back in 2005, she launched the Back on Track program that was meant to reduce sentences for people with nonviolent and low-level drug trafficking crimes. This woman did not want Black people in jail. In fact, she wanted to reduce sentences, and she wanted to dedicate her time into helping people get second chances. So much so that at one point they were calling her a social worker instead of a prosecutor.
We will have Back on Track in California's penal code as a model of what we should be doing to be smart on crime.
And yet you can't run away from the charges of those who do not agree with you. They call it soft on crime, that you can't be a social worker as a prosecutor.
Her goal is to break cycles of crime, not put Black people in jail. Do your research and vote Kamala Harris.
Right,
check out that hairline real quick. If you want to bring it back up.
Chill, Trey. Chill.
That is disproportionately negatively impacting Black and brown people all across this country today. Now, Senator Harris says she's proud of her record as a prosecutor and that she'll be a prosecutor president, but I'm deeply concerned about this record. There are too many examples to cite, but she put over 1,500 people in jail for marijuana violations and then laughed about it when she was asked if she ever smoked marijuana. She blocked evidence. She blocked evidence that would have freed an innocent man from death row. Courts forced her to do so. She kept people in prison beyond their sentences to use them as cheap labor for the state of California. And she fought to keep cash bail system in place that impacts poor people in the worst kind of way.
Thank you, Congresswoman. Senator Harris, your response.
All right, so I guess that's a good starting spot to begin the conversation. I guess I'll kick it off with a fairly basic question. Why is Kamala Harris so divisive right now when it comes down to the Black community? There's some people that's like completely for her, like gung ho, and then there's like this other side of the divide. There is the Roland Martin. I think I forget how much money they said that they raised. They had the whole Black Men for Kamala Zoom call where it was upward to like, I think last time I seen it was like 700,000 that was raised for her inside that. The idea that she just raised what is it, like 50-60 million over the past day. It made it like the most successful 24 hours fundraising. As G said, the thought was that she was very unpopular, but seemingly there's a big push for her. But then on the other side, I know today I talked to two Black women, and one of them, two Black women, different age brackets, and they weren't neither keen on Kamala Harris. And it seems like a really, really interesting dichotomy that is unpacking right now. So I'd love to get y'all opinion. Why do y'all think that she is so divisive?
Well, I think it's just the state. Let me get it real quick, Trey. I'll let you. But I think it's the state of the country. I think like even when we go to like, not just like, of course, the obvious Republican Democrat, like how much tension has been between those two. But I mean, you could even go like she's the epitome and the intersection of like the divisiveness between Black man, Black woman, or the FBA Pan-African, or the Blacks that have it and that don't have. And so I think she like almost like as an opposite to Trump maybe is like she checks off so many like I guess what they would call intersectional boxes. And she's being like put up as like diametrically opposed to Trump. Of course, it's naturally, going to be a divisive situation because it like she makes us think about so many different things from, like I said, Black man to Black woman, FBA, Pan-African, Republican, Democrat, feminist. Like it's so many different things where she kind of sit at that decision point or that intersection. And I think it's just a natural divisive person.
Gotcha.
I think the only Black people who are supporting Kamala Harris, or even Black women, are the Divine Nine Boule type. Like, I don't think people, like just regular citizens that aren't part of that, are super hyped about Kamala Harris, especially if they're from Kamala from California, and they had to deal with the truancy laws and everything like that. So I think that's kind of is more of a divide between the boule class and America. Because even like Roland Martin, he's and I don't even want to put it on him being a foreigner. I think a lot of like the old heads might support Kamala Harris, but the young folk, like young black women who aren't boule or Divine Nine, I haven't really seen too much of them being excited, unless they're foreigners. But that's not a shot at them. But we all know that there's the gender divide in the black community is global, and especially over in some of those other places that are overseas. So I think it kind of like the Democrats knew that they could count on a lot of our sisters to vote for Kamala Harris, which is why they picked her. Again, I think a lot of people that do that are the Divine Nine vote, and a lot of people that are foreigners. Because I think that's where you see a lot of that feminism and gender war and kind of going a little more crazy.
Yeah, like even so, the clips you showed with the first young lady, she kind of contradicted herself with the whole "do your research" thing, because she's really doing the same thing of kind of this, believing publicized information that, it was funny because I usually don't get the time to prepare for our shows, but I watched a whole lot of 2020 content because, like G was saying, I was wondering, like, how was somebody who was so unpopular 4 years ago, everybody is clamoring over. So I wanted to see what the Democrats were saying, what people were saying. So these same attacks on her arrest records and everything, they were all there. She was not denying it, but all of a sudden, now that she is the top candidate, these new debunk things coming up. She only locked up 45 black men. Oh, that's the opposite. But like, why was none of that out? 4 years ago. Why did, like, even in that debate, she didn't even deny it? Or nobody fact checked Tulsi Gabbard or whatever her name was. It just seems like they know it's a populace that will take misinformation based on who they like. This whole do your research. But even with research, you're having to believe a lot of these publications that also have interest in each party. These magazines, these newspapers, some are rooted in Republicans, most are rooted in like liberal Democratic politics. So now this whole push to kind of clean up her record. Oh no, she didn't lock up black men. She actually did the opposite. This is so new. Like, and why are we just now hearing this? And why has she never said that? Like, why has she never clarified it? But it's like they don't have to have any facts. They can just kind of push out these things, and people are going to gravitate towards it based on what they like. So it's like, oh, I just heard that she only locked up 45 black men. Do your research. Like, the research been there. Her arrest record is there. Like, all the thousands of people was not black, but talk to a Californian. Like, they know her record. Like, they know she extended sentences. They know that she's hard on marijuana users in a state where marijuana was legal, and did go on the record to black about smoking weed and smoking with Snoop Dogg and all this stuff. So I think the divisiveness comes in, like, they are playing with people's intelligence of, like, when did all this change? Like, y'all are trying to kind of change her narrative up, and you are basing it on people's absorption of misinformation. Because at the end of the day, nobody's not really doing no research. People are regurgitating topics, they're regurgitating memes based on the side that they've already decided on. Like, so people are looking for different things to base their thoughts on. So they have to justify and kind of like start spinning shit in a positive way. But I just found it funny that all the Democrats were against her. None of these things that are being said now was said in 2020 when she lost the primaries terribly, and now she's the savior of their party. It's kind of crazy, and it's real hypocritical right now.
Yo, hey Black, have you met people in person? That's my fault. Like, I think we can't just say because we see some posts on Instagram and say that she's popular. I don't believe that, bro.
No,
and
she's
like
popular, bro. She's got some popularity here recently,
bro.
Yeah, I guess
have you met people in real life though?
I think
I know people in real life that are like pro Kamala right now.
I think Haiti Trump is more popular than Kamala is. And I think
see,
no matter who they put, they would rally behind her. So they have no choice. but the rally behind Kamala right now, because the hate for Trump is stronger than the love for Kamala.
Yeah, matter of fact, let me see if I can find it.
I was gonna say that my whole opinion is that it's not this love affair for Kamala. It's this rhetoric it's like the same playbook going into the election of we can't let him win. And so your whole premise of supporting a candidate like Biden was we can't let Trump win. And now they're running the same playbook back, but now they're trying to use Kamala and they're trying to go get that first generation to vote to come out to vote. That's what they're really trying to do with Kamala that they haven't been able to do with Biden. They're really trying to target that first generation of voters who weren't quite old enough, who had to sit out the Biden-Trump election, who now can cast their vote. Like they're trying to get similar to what they did with Obama, in my opinion. So it's like these Democrats, their strategies are so washed. There's no like innovation. There's no freshness to it. There's nothing based off of policy. It's all these just, I don't even know what to call it other than like just charades, just playing games to try and get votes versus like making it something based off of substance. Like
and women too, to add to that first generation, is 10 million more registered voters than men. So of women. So they are relying on, you know, the women vote. That's why you kind of starting to see all this girl power, woman this, woman that, because these last few elections have been decided, you know, by less than 1 million voters. So if we can rally the women, you know, we can win this. And that's the push that they're doing. It's like attack black men.
But they got the black women vote. Like the black women are not going to vote for Trump. Period. So it's like
I've been, like I said, they're not vocal, they're not loud because they don't want to be viewed a certain way. But I've talked to a lot of black women and seen a lot of black women online who are not drinking the Kool-Aid. You know, you got the typical ones that are easily impressionable and influenced, but it's a lot of black women that's like, yeah, nah, I'm not going for that.
Yeah, and I think you also end up fighting. I think, what is it called, voter apathy or something like that, where more than anything, there could have been a contingent of black women that just didn't vote. Like I said, I definitely know some women that are on the fence of like, man, I
just sit
like right out. Now. Yeah, we don't need no president. They pretty much on like that whole type of time where like I'll pretty much vote for anybody but the president, or vote for anybody but the two people that were running prior to when Kamala came.
I'm not sure if I'm understanding you, because it sounds like you're saying a lot of women don't like her, and you're also saying a lot of women do like her. So how does that mean she's wildly popular if so many people are kind of like 50-50? 50-50 don't seem the same as wildly popular.
Because like Donald Trump is wildly popular, but he like 50-50, half of the country voted for him, half not. Like you can be wildly popular and still have half of the people against you.
I think polarizing. The more polarizing you are, the more popular you are naturally. I think that's just like
a lot of Trump supporters and a lot of Kamala dissenters are quiet. They're in the dark. They know how they're going to be perceived. They know how they're going to be.
Yeah. That's a great point. Yeah.
It seems like social media that, Kamala's getting all this thing. That's only because the other side are not speaking out. They don't want to be. If I have a critical opinion on Kamala, I don't want to be viewed as a Trump supporter, because a lot of times people are not Trump supporters, but they are critical of Kamala. But if you have any alternative thought, the first response is, "Oh, you must have punked Trump." "Oh, well, who you go vote for then?" Well, all of it, they like the same 5 responses they have, and like so people are already set and who they voted for, and they're just like, well, I'm not about to argue with people online. These people, clamor and say their stuff online, and they still gonna vote for who they vote for. But I just believe that a lot of people are really not with it. They're just afraid to speak out. You know, it's not popular to like be critical towards her, be critical towards Democrat, because you're automatically pegged as a Republican, you're automatically pegged as a Trump supporter, and that might not be the case. You just might want answers. You might just want to like say, well, why this or why that? and people don't have answers, so they attack you. Oh, you a Trump supporter? That's the first thing they say.
Okay, when you say wildly popular, I think about Trump. I think about Biden. You think we're going to see pictures of people with T-shirts with Kamala and Doug and their kids, and then women start rocking those shirts?
Not Doug and her
Yeah,
kids.
you don't need
no.
Doug and the kids, but they.
Nah.
I've already seen the Kamala shirts.
Yeah, they've
They
got them printed up, bro.
they already out.
They printed up.
I sell the
Oh,
shit.
but see, you just ran it up. It looked like yeah, A-Black just ran it up. No, I forgot
Let them
about
know.
that.
Let them know where they can get them Kamala tees, Black. Let them know where they can get those.
Black is gold. And she did remove my Trump for niggas. I listen. I'm getting it both. Somebody gonna tell this.
That boy standing on business.
They definitely are supporting, and even when she won vice president, ran it up too. So they're buying the stuff.
So let me ask you this, A-Black, like as a Howard nigga, are niggas gonna like just be like, oh, like we Howard, so we gonna vote for this person? Like, is that like the feel there? Like people want to be associated with it because they are common alumni?
Or
you got both sides. You got the latter side is okay, I'm just gonna support her because she went to Howard. I want to be able to say that my HBCU got the first Black president. Like, so you got on that side, and then like I said, there is an opposite side, but they are not as loud. You know, they know the vitriol they get for speaking out, but it's side Howard. Like, but the one side is louder. The AKAs are louder. The supporters are louder. The dissenters are not as loud, but they're there too. They're not supporting her just because she went to Howard. But it's like a family thing. It's like I can talk shit about my cousin, but the rest of y'all can't. I know that they a crackhead, but I'm not gonna let you talk now. So that's a lot of the conversation around it. We're gonna support her. You know, this is gonna look good for us and our name. But then you got people that's not with it. They don't care that she went there. Like, I know the people too, but like I said, they're just not as loud. Like a lot of the dissenters right now, they're very quiet because they don't want to be chastised. They don't want to be canceled. They don't want to be blocked and all that stuff. All the, all the things.
No, I dig it. All right, so damn, y'all kind of threw me off for a second. I guess
the white husband.
Yeah.
Do you think the sisters who are, because you seem like the same group of people that get mad at the NBA players for having, their white wives, don't say a peep about Kamala Harris?
I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
And I don't think they would have voted for Barack Obama if he had like Hillary Clinton by his side.
No question. Yeah, if you swap Barack Obama with a white woman as a stepfather to white kids, and that's his family makeup, you can't put that out there. You at least gotta have them ambiguous babies, the ones that's like, and that's in between where it's like, you know what I'm saying? You at least gotta have one of them that's questionable. It can't just be pure blonde, blue-eyed white folk, for sure.
White men is not taking the optics of Barack fucking a white woman, but they'll feel safe with Kamala.
Oh yeah, they cool with
not that. Just white. It's not just white men. I think Black women and white men both agree with that. I don't know who wants to see Black men. Who likes to see Black men with white women more? Who dislikes that more? Black men or Black women or white men?
If he had a white woman, like part of his support was because he had a real Black wife with a Black family, so he had the Black vote on lock just because of those things. Like, but if he had a white woman, he wouldn't have even made it to senator. I don't think, like, for real. But the opposite is said for white Black women. They rise higher when they have a white man beside them.
I don't know though, man. There are a lot of niggas in power with white women. I gotta say, or wait, you saying if Barack had a white woman? There are a lot of Black dudes with white women who is sin.
Give me an example.
The whole New York Knicks.
No, you said power, like political power. That's athletic merit.
The guy, the dude Byron.
Yeah, I say Byron.
The dude Byron that I mentioned on the Republican side. Van Jones got a white wife.
You think those men are respected?
Van Jones,
amongst their parties, no question.
Van Jones don't got a wife. He got co-parent, conscious co-parenting. He don't call her his wife. He just has kids with her.
Oh, he a slick one. Okay, he might be more one than I thought. Okay,
that man crying on TV. You think he's respected?
Dude, Van Jones' career as a Democrat is respected. Like, I don't like we can argue about if you personally respect him, but like his position in the Democratic Party with his connections to Obama and his history, he's respected.
So you think he's held in high regards in his community, like Barack Obama, for example, or Trump in his community? Because I've never heard anybody say anything like crazy positive about the likes of Van Jones. I always hear people talk about how he looked goofy. He cries on more on MSNBC than liberal white women do. Crazy.
Really don't know who Van Jones is.
So you telling me as in the political sphere, you're telling me that Van Jones doesn't have a position and a voice, whether you agree or disagree. You're going to tell me he's not one of the consistent voices that you hear advocating for that party.
We're talking about respect, not employment.
No. But like Trey, your respect is different than like, because you don't even get to have that seat unless there's a certain level of respect. Like, would you agree with that?
Bro, the court jester gets a seat. That doesn't mean anybody respects the court jester.
All right.
I think he's respected by those Democratic white people for sure.
That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. That, like,
I think that was the entire point that he was saying. Y'all was going to keep going. Yeah.
That's called aggressive agreeing. Like,
no, I completely disagree. That's not respect.
They're making opposite points. He's talking about personal respect and cultural respect, and he's talking about political respect.
Professional respect.
Professional respect, yeah.
Yeah,
so he's a respected house nigga.
Dude, all respect.
Could be like if you want to word it, that way, he wouldn't be the only one.
Yeah, but so you're loading it with like your own personal intuition. But yeah, like saying that he's a respected Democratic voice. What will make you say that he's not a respected Democratic voice?
Bro, nobody respects a house nigga. Nobody.
Gotcha.
Oh, that's why I can't find that shit. They deleted that shit off the ground. It was a whole thread of like black women talking junk about Kamala.
Oh yeah, no, they can't stay up too long. But I guess
deleted that shit.
If I'm gonna branch to just a different question. So as we're hearing the discourse happen, and even when we're getting bogged down a little bit in this conversation, even though I don't think we're specifically getting bogged down, I'll ask another general question. Is this a case of the Democrats saying that it's best to play identity politics?
Say it again.
Is this an example of, so Biden's going down, they're needing to make a push to, try and beat Trump, and Kamala Harris, and you can look at it inside the intersectionality of what she is. She is a woman, black and Indian, and the idea of using, what is the word, identity politics. So off the bat, there's a specific amount of people that's going to vote for her just because she's black. Specific group that's going to vote just because she's a woman. We just spoke about like her activating some of those bases that of what might be dormant voters. Is this the Dems doing the identity politic thing, or do they really think that she's the best candidate for the job?
We know that they don't think she's the best candidate for the job. It's like I think G was saying earlier, it's out of necessity. It's last minute because the whole tune was different not even a month ago. So we know what they truly think, and we can look back at the DNC primaries just 4 years ago with the Democratic Party thinking about Kamala. So it's like they want to beat Trump. It's beat him by any means. She got the biggest name recognition right now out of their party. We got to get behind her. Who else are they going to put up? Gavin Newsom, Roy Cooper. Niggas don't know who that is. They're not voting for him. And I say niggas, I mean like the uneducated populace who just tunes into election, when it's popular. People might know them, but the name recognition, a lot of people vote off of that. People know the president, the vice president, and then when you go and vote and you see that slide of Democrats and Republicans, you just voting because they're Democrats. You just vote because somebody got a black name or whatever, but you're not voting based on what you know. So name recognition is very important in this situation. Mm-hmm. And now they're going to like surround her because she all we got, because we didn't prep nobody else for the populace to know to beat this man in 3 months.
Okay.
100% identity politics, because like nobody's even asking what are you going to do for black people. They're just like, oh, it's a black woman, so I'm going to vote for her.
We already know she ain't did nothing. She ain't gonna do nothing. She said she ain't gonna do nothing. She did it for LGBT though, for trans, for Asian.
She did it for her Asian counterparts, and she even openly said, "I can't do nothing specific for black
So I'm not
people."
gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do.
But I've heard her say specifically, like, I can't just do something specific. Is that the clip? Yeah, man, run it.
So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people. No. So I'm not gonna sit here and say I'm gonna do something that's only gonna benefit black people.
She said that with a bop too.
Like, I ever
seen like, girl, bitch, please. What you talking about? Like, she said that, like, yeah, she said that with a bop. But like, my thing with the identity politics, like, I agree with both A Black and Trey. I agree with A Black in that, like, it's just a result of what they have to do today. But I agree with the identity politics piece, but it started in 2020 when they selected her as the vice president. Like, the choice to go with her now is not the identity politics move. It's the necessity move because Biden's so trash. But setting Biden up or with this vice president from the start was no question a play on identity politics from the Democratic Party. Like, that was the whole thing from the start. And then as soon as they got in office, like, this is what I'm saying. She's got to be one of the like least memorable vice presidents in recent memory. Like, I was born in the 80s, so it's like, I mean, I'm just thinking of like, you know, she's got to be one of the least memorable vice presidencies. Like, no real memorable moments as a vice president that I can remember. And so I don't know if it's identity politics. I think it's just they literally didn't have another choice. But the fact that they chose her as a VP demonstrates how Democrats are so like shallow-minded with their strategy, in my opinion.
Hey, bro, and that was her answer to reparations for black people is I'm not going to do anything specific for black people. And man, I saw I'm going to add to that shit. What are you saying, but
I forgot. Come back.
Gotcha. All right, so I guess I'll hop in.
Oh,
go ahead, Johnny.
Yeah, I'll say. I mean, I think. Can you run what was the exact question again?
Is this a case of the Dems
playing identity politics?
I remember what I was now.
Of course it is. I mean, what else do they do? Like, what else have they done? Like, even over the course of like, not just this last election cycle, like 4 years, but I mean, look at the last 20 years. Look at the last 30, 40 years. That's their game. That's how they play. Is they don't do it off like moral standards or anything like that. They do it off, we're gonna get you to vote this way because of who you are. It's never been about principle when it comes to the Democratic Party. It's been about why we voted for Democrats this long. If it wasn't, it's because we black.
Yeah. What I was about to say earlier was when she was selected VP, I was surprised because when they were debating, she was just attacking Biden from every side.
Yeah, she was nasty, like Trump say. She was a nasty woman.
He had his sexual assault charges that she came out and said that she believed the victims. He attacked her. She attacked him from working with segregationists, or racists, all these things. And so then they pick her, and all of a sudden they're buddy, and all of a sudden she supports him, and that's type of stuff that make me look at Democrats like, what? You're just trying to play on people, but you needed her to balance out him. You needed her to get women. You needed her to get colored people because he was losing at that time. So
did you call us colored?
When I say color, I'm not just talking about black. I'm talking about minorities, the Asians, the everybody. You know,
the black and brown.
It was strategy. Just like her VP about to be strategy. Like whoever she picked, always gonna be some straight white male. You know, but she gotta get balanced out too for her other side.
Yeah, she has to. She has to. Yeah,
bro.
So speaking, before you go, Trey, I'm just pretty much is relevant to what A Black was talking about. This is Biden and Kamala at the, what was that, 2020?
Yep.
He was fucking up his words then. Shit.
Maybe let me hit this refresh.
When Senator Harris was the Attorney General for 8 years, in the state of California. There were two of the most segregated school districts in the country, in Los Angeles and in San Francisco. And she did not, like, I didn't see a single solitary time she brought a case against them to desegregate them. Secondly, she also was in a situation where she had a police department when she was there that in fact was abusing people's rights. And the fact was that she in fact was told by her own people, that her own staff, that she should do something about and disclose to defense attorneys like me that you, in fact, have been, the police officer did something that did not give you information would exculpate your client. She didn't do that. She never did it. And so what happened? Along came a federal judge and said, enough, and he freed 1,000 of these people. If you doubt me, Google 1,000 prisoners freed, Kamala Harris. Thank you, Vice President Biden.
Yeah, I'm realizing that I never like listening to Biden talk.
Yo, this nigga been struggling for a minute, boy.
Yeah.
Off the strength of Obama and the hate for Trump. Like he never was a good candidate. Like once again, name recognition and the strength of, oh, he was with Obama, so he got to be cool, and we got to get Trump out of here. But he was never a good candidate either.
That's my issue, man. It's like, why? How many times you gonna pander to a nigga, man? Like, you did this multiple times before. You running the same playbook back and want people to be excited and energized about it, just to activate, give the Democrats what they want. But like Trey said, we not getting no reparations. And we like, this is somebody who's, when you look at the crime system, she's the type to criminalize poverty and stuff like that, like nonviolence. Like at the end of the day, like I'm not with none of that pro-criminalization of poverty, pro-criminalization of nonviolent crimes. Like if you getting money as a free enterprise on the street, that shouldn't be the local police job. That should be like an agency job to try and shut it. That local police should not be out here trying to be the who's who. Like it shouldn't be trying to put people in jail. They should just be trying to make sure niggas are safe. But I feel like this is the type of president who would like enforce this like over policing that we already don't really want in our communities, in my opinion.
Bro, did you see when she was keeping people incarcerated longer because she needed them to be the firefighters in California and stuff like that? So that's basically slave labor because they don't really get hardly paid nothing. And the only reason they do that is because they want to get probation and things like that.
Yeah, I seen the headline. I got to read more into that. But
and not to mention the state of California had a 200% capacity rate for their prisons. It's like, yo, slow down, my nigga. Stop locking. Like everybody don't need to get locked up. Like just because you break a quote unquote law don't mean you're a criminal, in my opinion. Like it's a difference between dealing with the law and locking people up in jail and criminalizing them, institutionalizing them. And I feel like based off her track record, based off of, from what I've read and quote unquote my research, this is somebody who I don't see how her policies based off her history is going to set us up for future success.
Her husband, he did the same thing too, but go ahead, Trey.
Do you think that the Democrats should be desperate right now? And if not for this instant support by a lot of, especially like the Divine Nine, type of sisters and, a lot of the feminists, she would have to, like, if we were more politically sophisticated as Black people, we would have a list of demands for our vote. But instead, we're just like, a lot of us just want to give it to her without even asking her what she's going to do for us. But we are in a great position where at this point, man, they're so desperate. If we would just
Trey, I think you're walking into a future episode where I think it'll be really beneficial for us as a panel to sit and break down what should be the Black agenda, especially as we start moving towards the DNC, towards the RNC already went, and election season. Not even specifically that it has to be like what Ice Cube laid out, but what are some actual tangible things that would be great for the Black community, agenda wise, if we could all get on one accord.
But we can wait though.
Yeah. But I guess let me ask you that. We were kind of there. I think I already know y'all answer, but I'm gonna ask it either way. Do you think that if elected, she would do anything that could, or anything to help the Black community? I know she said that she won't do anything specifically to help the Black community. but do you think she'll do anything to help the Black community at all? Will there be any benefit to her, I guess Caribbean, Black, and Indian woman being the president of the United States?
I
she's not
mean,
doing nothing unless we demand it. Short answer. Like,
yeah,
she's not gonna do nothing for free.
I don't think if we look at the person who she is, that we should expect anything that's gonna help us. She's even said as much. And just look at the track record of Democrats. It's like, why should we look at any Democrat, not just her specifically, and think that we're going to get any benefit from their presidency unless, like what Trey just said, unless we demand it, unless we put, certain things on the table that we say that we all need. But if not, why would she? She has no
Thank you
reason to do it. Like, why would she? She doesn't have to.
I mean, she showed where her interests lie, like with who she married. To me, I'm like, I can't think of nobody married to a white man that does anything specifically for Black people. That shows that she didn't think it's one Black man on this earth that's good enough to be her equal or to go into marriage with. But
Montel Williams. No, for you marriage.
But he was lit at the time. So if you a clout chaser like her, and you trying to get your name out there, you date Montel Williams, you go on red carpets with him, and you get your name out there as a clout chaser do. But he was popular. He was lit at the time. So yeah, I'm gonna date him. I'm gonna get popular. I'm trying to be a political career. I'm a lawyer. So it makes sense. It's clout chasing, but I don't see why she has to do anything for us. Like, we're like, people not demanding. Even now, with all this popularity, nobody didn't even vote for her in, and people are ready to dance in the street and pour hot sauce on shit. But she don't have to do nothing because nothing is being demanded on her. You got people out here saying, "I'm voting just because she is a woman. I'm voting just because she's Black. I'm voting because I hate Trump." You're not voting for anything that she says she's going to do for me. When you ask them, like, there's nothing like Kamala says she's going to change this or change that. It's like, no, we go vote for her just cause. Just like 3 weeks ago, we just voted for Joe Biden. Now we just vote for her. But they don't have to give us nothing. And they're not. They're going to use us for the vote again. And then they're going to go back and give all the other minorities and groups that have real power that they've demanded stuff and do stuff for them. But they don't got to do shit for us. Like, maybe she will. Maybe she'll surprise us. But it hasn't been a track record of it yet.
So y'all think we can write this shit that these old niggas set us up with, where we've trained the Democrats to not have to do anything for us? We just vote for them just for being blue. Like,
only way we gonna do it is not vote for them.
Right.
And then
unless we decide.
They villainize you for that too. The not vote, they say, is a vote for Trump.
We already criminals, and they already think we ain't shit. So fuck it. I mean, that's the truth.
If we don't hurry up, bro. If we don't hurry up, they're gonna with this immigration thing, and then they do what they call it, naturalization, or however they set it up, where they do amnesty. Then they're not gonna need us anymore at that point. That's the Black vote.
Yeah, I really think voting is gives the populace an illusion that they got a choice. So they're not uprising constantly. So they stay propelling the capitalist system. But like, maybe it's conspiracy or whatever. But how do you prove your vote is being counted in this machine? How do you know your vote really matters? Like,
but like,
no. Oh, you stumbling into another great conversation.
Your vote doesn't matter because the Electoral College chooses the president.
And it's like,
if you vote Democrat in a red state, guess what? All your vote literally went to a Republican, or vice versa. If you vote red in a blue state, your vote literally went straight to the Democratic. That's how the Electoral College is set up.
And not only do they do that, it's like, if you're in a state like North Carolina, for example, when you look at the big pockets of populace in North Carolina, Triangle, Triad, Charlotte area, Asheville area, like, it makes up the bulk of the population of the state, right? But you might have the state vote like 51% Trump. and all of the electoral college votes are going to go to Trump. Not 51% of them, all of them for the whole state. So when you talk about marginalizing niggas' votes, the electoral college, to Johnny's point, is like, if depending on where you stay, your vote really is very much marginalized because it don't matter what based on the outcome. And then even furthermore, the electoral college doesn't even have to allocate their votes based off of the popular vote of the state. If they wanted to say, nah, you know what, our state majority voted for this person, but we want to give all our votes to this person, we gonna do that. They have the power to do that without any interference. So it's really all a sham when you break it down, in my opinion.
Man, but at the same time, do you think it's fair for just like 5 major cities to make the decision for the whole nation?
Absolutely, because they push the economy. Those 5 major cities, like anytime there's a population center in a society, there's a reason, and those population centers usually push the economy.
So Johnny, did you hear like he didn't say for the state, he said for the country.
But is it vice versa would be my question, Trey. Is it fair for a bunch of rural ass niggas who don't have economies, who don't live in cities to decide what goes on in like these bigger cities that carry the GDP for the whole country?
I think that's more reflective of different like flavors of American. Like you got an Oklahoma, which is a small state, and you have a North Carolina, or you have California, and then you might have a Pennsylvania, versus like Chicago, San Francisco, and New York and Houston. Like they have more like that's more like a monolith. So for them, I think you're gonna just open the door for like you know how they say if you make peaceful revolution impossible, you make violent revolution inevitable. Like I don't think people like in these rural areas from coast to coast are going to be comfortable with a few major cities, super liberal cities, to drive national policy. Like,
and that's probably like more
But I
the
don't
biggest
think
thing is that
the inverse isn't going to be acceptable either. The cities aren't going to allow some people from the outskirts to tell them what they can and can't do in their cities.
I mean, they did with Bush, right? Because Bush lost a popular vote. He did it. The same thing happened with.
I mean, but we talk about stolen elections. That was probably the only election that was actually stolen.
Let me explain. Something fishy happened last year, but whatever, man. We don't have to get into that.
Yeah, I mean,
I'll talk about on paper, man.
And you can say the same thing. You said Bush stole the election. I guess that was Gore. I can't really think of another time.
Gore won the popular vote, but lost the electoral college.
And it came
Hillary
down
Clinton won the popular vote.
Brother was the governor of. Jeb Bush was the governor of Florida.
Did Trump win the popular vote last time, or he lost both?
He didn't win the popular vote against Biden.
Yeah, no, last time I don't think.
They said Biden was the most popular candidate.
But
in
he
history.
did record the second most votes in history of an election. So
isn't that crazy?
Yeah, I mean, this is what I'm saying. Like Trump, I'm talking about Trump. Trump recorded the second most. Biden had the most votes in the history of an election. Trump had the second most votes in the history of an election.
Oh, well, that definitely mean it was stolen because ain't nobody like I mean, because I don't actually now that I hear that, it sounds like fake votes because I know a lot of people that really didn't vote.
Yeah, a lot
How
of
would that be the thing?
Had a lot of machines messing up. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like it was a lot of votes that really went.
And that's why I was like,
most of them were the most popular candidates of all time. That's kind of
how do we
to me it makes sense only because of how like social media and the engine of that runs.
But no,
and then how hyperbolic the conversation ends up being. So everybody's voting for their life to an extent.
Last election cycle was the one election cycle I heard the most people ever talking about sitting it out.
Did they?
But that's not the facts. It was the most turnout in history.
I'm about to say, did they? I don't know that.
It's the biggest turnout in history.
Oh, I heard a lot of
allegedly.
Allegedly. Like I said, Biden got the most votes by a candidate ever. Trump got the second most votes by a candidate.
Do you think like both sides just faked it?
I don't think
both sides faked it.
I don't know if that many people came out and vote based on the political apathy that was around in the country at the time.
It seemed mail-in ballots at that too.
It seemed like a lot of people were like opting out. Not
so. Did you know of like a mass amount of people that didn't vote? Is that what you're saying? Like, where were you hearing this, and did they go through with it?
Amongst friends, I know of several of my friends that didn't vote.
That
Like,
didn't? Okay.
But
several.
they got the
Mo-
most
way more
ballots
than
in
any
history. That's
election
like
previous.
indisputable.
You say what?
They got the most. It was the most voted election in the history. It's like indisputable
So I guess what I'm saying, Johnny. So do you think
or undisputable.
both candidates just lied by millions? For both of them to do that, they both would have to both lie by millions. You understand what I'm saying?
Trump was definitely popular, bro. I don't know if Biden. Why would Biden? Who like Biden like that, bro? Only reason people voted for Biden is because they don't like Trump.
It's the reason why niggas pay to watch Floyd fight. It really don't matter who he fighting. You want to see this nigga lose. Like,
yeah, that was Trump.
That's the Trump election. It really don't matter if it's Biden, Harris, or anybody. There's a certain population of people who will die on this sword of it can't be Trump. I'll do anything but Trump. And then that's what some people believe, and they'll elect like based off of that ideology.
So Trump was winning by a landslide, and overnight, I don't know, man. It's just whatever.
I voted for Clinton, so.
I don't want to sound like a nut, but you know,
the name of the company was Dominion.
Bro, what? Right, bro. I don't want to sound like a nut. So I'm just gonna let this go, but it just don't smell right.
They had the voting machines. It was Dominion.
Oh, y'all on the so you're on the side of that the vote was stolen last year, pretty much.
I'm not saying that at all. That's these niggas.
No, I'm talking about Trey. Trey, that's what it sounded like.
I'm saying it's suspicious. I'm just saying
I asked the question and I'm not on either side.
I think they stole that shit. I don't think they're gonna let him win.
Respect, but I just don't want to, get this thing shut down because they were going crazy. Because if you said anything doubting it, they would call you Russian information and shut your channel down, all that. So I'm just saying, man, it's hard to believe that Biden is the most popular candidate of all time.
Not by measure of votes. That's it. Like,
not a lot of votes said that.
And like I said, Trump had the second most ever. It just was a polarizing election. Like, it was one of the most polarizing elections. It brought people out to the polls.
And I guess to me, I wouldn't even say that Biden was the most popular as much as I think that, as he said,
Trump
it was polarizing. Yeah, to where like a lot more people were motivated to vote against Trump.
They want to beat him.
Bro,
pause.
They would vote for Eddie Murphy if it's going against Trump. Like, they don't care as long as it's not Trump.
Hey man, we should have stuck with that Johnny P 2024, man. We might have had a chance.
I told you, you backed out. You ain't wanna do what it took to get some donors.
I ain't 35 yet though, so
Nah, I dig it. All right, so let me see, kind of just moving along. Is there anything? And my bad, let me do the quick housekeeping. So in about 12 minutes, we will be dropping the call-in link. We'd love to get your opinion. So obviously this panel has been not as favorable when it comes down to Kamala. So we'd love to get any people that do support Kamala just to get a different opinion inside the room and have some real good back and forth. But I mean, if you agree with us, still call in, tap in. Obviously the cash apps inside the description. Hit the super chats, continue chatting in general. But
I got somebody want to call in. It'd be funny.
All right, bet. So let me ask y'all this before we go to the call-ins. Another general question. Well, it's not as general. Is there anything Kamala Harris could do to win your vote?
Reparations.
Yep.
Reparations.
Yeah.
Right.
That'd be one. If she said, "Hey, this is my plan for reparations and how we're gonna get them," she gonna make a nigga perk up. All right.
So let me now reframe it because it sounds like there's consensus across reparations. So we'll take that. All right. So we got that one. Is there anything else? Is there anything else that she could do?
Decriminalize nonviolent crimes.
You can wipe the criminal records of people with marijuana and weed charges that are prohibiting them from getting employment, from getting things when it's becoming legal in all these states. Wipe their records.
Make it federally legal, even. Like, she's like, beyond wiping the records, it just needs to be federally legal to where it's not a criminalized offense anymore.
I don't know if
All
I'm
the
a fan of
drugs
that.
legal. You stop the drug war.
I don't know about that. I think y'all kind of tripping. Reparations, I get that part, and maybe end qualified immunity or get an anti-black hate crime bill where you punish get these race holders out of law enforcement. There's a lot of stuff she could do, bro.
Which part you said they were stripping about?
Making all drugs legal. Like
I didn't say make
crack.
I didn't say make all drugs legal.
A-Black said
They
that.
did this in I was being
Oh, crazy.
freaky, but for real, they did it in I think Oregon.
Colorado got legal shrooms, I think. But there's a difference between decriminalizing something versus letting it be widely available. Like, just because you're a fucking junkie don't mean you're a criminal. Like, some junkies turn into criminals, but like, if you have an addiction and you end up in jail because you're addicted to a substance, that's not the right program, in my opinion. It's just like, and a lot of folks who end up in jail will end up in jail because they're poor, because of the bail system and everything. So it's like I said, like, she got to decriminalize poverty, in my opinion, and decriminalize these non-violent laws that they use to target our communities. Like, a lot of what they do to target folks that look like us isn't even based off of violence. It's based off of, oh, I thought I smelled something, I thought I heard. It's like, it's not even based off of anything material, in my opinion. So if we got a president who's willing to stand on that, to say we can't just be out here like that stop and frisk policy, just stop giving police all this power, like, I'm with that. We got to strip some of that power away, but it starts, to me, with making these things not illegal in the first place. The cops don't have power if it's not illegal. Like it kind of goes hand in hand.
And speaking of cops, are we gonna talk about how every election there's a black person that gets killed by the cops, and Democrats use that to kind of galvanize their populace? Like, the whole Sonya Madison thing kind of came out of nowhere, and that footage was like so readily available so quickly. Like,
every election, they always killing black folks. Like, election season, non-election season, like in between, afterward.
You're talking about them hashtags, though. Them hashtags.
Last election was George Floyd, and part of Biden's campaign was creating policy around that. And they did try the George Floyd Act. It got.
Did y'all see the young lady in Illinois where the cop she called the cops because she thought somebody was breaking into her house, and she ends up getting shot in the face?
That's what he's talking about.
Oh, okay, word.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, Sonya Madison.
Same
But
one.
I'm saying, like, part of Biden's campaign, loans clear. I don't know if everybody got their loans clear. I'm going to create a law to protect people from unarmed killing. They did draft the bill, the George Floyd Act. It eventually, got turned down, but he didn't continue to push it. He didn't continue to fight for it. He started turning his attention to Ukrainian lives. They started mattering more than black lives, and we didn't hear nothing about the act no more. And here we are again. People still getting killed unarmed by the police, and there's no policy in place to protect poor black people from getting killed, because it seems to be only poor black people that get killed by these cops. Mm-hmm. But this particular one, to me, I was so surprised at how quickly the body footage came out, and the Democrats started making statements around it.
Got it. All right. So right now it sounds like
Kofi, a hardcore Democrat. Of course he is.
That'll make for a good conversation. But so it sounds like reparations, sounds like legalization of drugs,
decriminalization.
Yeah, not legalization and decriminalization.
They definitely need to legalize marijuana, but in terms of like drugs in general, doing drugs shouldn't make you a criminal.
I don't know. I don't want to see like crack get too popular like that. I don't think we need to do the disproportionate. Like, I don't like the crime bill. I agree with you there, but to normalize like drugs that can kill you.
We normalize alcohol? So you think if crack was legal, would you do it? Would you do it?
You comparing crack to like a beer?
No, what I'm saying is, you telling me alcohol doesn't kill people every single day?
But we're talking about crack, and you bringing up alcohol. I don't think that's a fair comparison.
You said drugs that kill people.
Okay, drugs that either kill people, string them out. They're way more addictive than alcohol. Drugs at that level.
Alcohol don't ruin lives.
So just want to make sure. Are you comparing crack to a Bud Light?
No, see, you said a Bud Light, but what if you can't just have one Bud Light? Like my whole point is in that people should have the agency to do what they want with their own selves if they're not hurting other people. If you want to take your money, spend it on some crack, and go to your house and get your pipe and go to your room and chill, I don't think you should go to jail.
Have you seen a crackhead?
Bro, trust me, I've seen plenty. But what I'm saying is, no, because I don't think if it was like, I see crackheads and it's illegal. So I don't think if it was quote unquote decriminalized that we would see less crackheads or more crackheads. Like if like I said, if crack were legal, would you do it?
Of course not.
So, okay. So this is what I'm saying is like, when it comes to drugs, there's a certain population of people that are going to dive into these substances. And there are going to be certain people who don't. Alcohol is legal, but not everybody drinks. What I'm just simply saying is that putting these people in jail is not the answer for addiction. It's just that simple. Like if you have substance abuse problems, you are not a criminal. That is, and that's my whole point in what I'm saying. Substance abuse is not criminal behavior. Can substance abuse lead to criminal behaviors? I'm not disagreeing. But so can power, so can too much influence, so can a lot of things that we don't make illegal that can lead to criminal behavior. This idea that it's a gateway to being a criminal, like people have addictions. That doesn't mean you're a criminal. Doesn't mean you should be in jail. That's my only point.
I hear you. I wholly disagree. What's up, Ava?
What I was saying about legalizing is it lessens a lot of the underground, the secrecy, the I feel like the trade, not the actual usage, the substance abuse, but the trade at the border, the different things like that. When you have a drug war, you have people killing each other for different things. I feel like it would limit that if some of the things were illegal, but because people do what they do anyway, you know. But
you don't think it's a public health risk to like not have something a deterrent? You think? Because didn't they try that in like Oregon or something like that? And then shit. And
I lived in the Netherlands where you could take your drugs and get them tested.
What's different about Netherlands versus Oregon? Because they tried that in Oregon and it went all the way left.
I don't know, but I live in the Netherlands where I could legally get shrooms, legally get marijuana. On certain days where they have music festivals, they let you legally have X amount of cocaine, from what I hear. And what I'm telling you is that when you're in certain population like that, this is a country where you got prostitution. I mean, it's all the things that shouldn't quote unquote be legal, but yet when you go there and walk the streets, it's one of the it's one of the cleanest countries. It's one like people are going to do what they do. You don't have to criminalize human behavior. Is my whole point. Like that's a flaw of our legal system. It way too often criminalizes people for being human beings who aren't perfect.
Gotcha. All right. So again, it sounds like decriminalizing drugs would be a point if she said so that could sway the vote. It sounds like a policing or George Floyd, like the George Floyd Act or a version of policing reform could be something that could sway a vote to voting for as well. Is that true?
Yeah. Also the whole thing with women's body, she'll lock in the women as far as the government and abortion and having say over their body, having a stronger stance on that. Preventing the government from telling women what to do with their body. That's been one of the pushes against Trump. So I think she'll lock in the women vote by guaranteeing them that I'm going to make sure y'all are secure by putting something in place that we don't have to vote on this anymore. So that would be another thing she can lock in, especially with women, because they're big on that. We just had the Roe versus Wade situation go down. So
Would
yeah.
that sway your vote specifically?
She got. I need something tangible. I need the reparations. I need a check. I need something more than words, because when that's from both sides. Like I need something that's like that's going to be physical, that I can see when you get in office November 5th. This is going to change my life directly, and I just haven't seen that, from either side. I feel like with Trump, he's so dumb in a way that he's transparent. You can see where he's coming from. You can benefit from it if you are on the money getting side of things with like you typically can being a Republican in general. But I need something that's like tangible, like I can see, I can touch, that can hit my account, that can hit my life, like a policy that affects me. And I can support other policies that benefit others, but I haven't seen nothing that's going to change my livelihood as a black man. Like no matter who's the president, middle
Trump
class
has
black
tangibles.
Man. Yeah, I would have to.
You said Trump has tangibles. What's his tangibles?
Yeah. Well, first he's gonna close the border. That's what he's preaching. I mean, he's campaigning.
Man, this nigga said he was gonna build a wall too. Wall weak as fuck. Ain't no wall.
Do you think he was prevented from building that wall because a lot of like liberals jumped into? Because he also they said he did a policy where you had to stay in your country, and then like Mexico, he like put some tariffs on them and said if you don't police the border, then you can't come over here. He did the same with these other countries as well. And he also did some things with tariffs to where if there were unfair business practices that, he went against that as well. Like he's not one of these global citizen type of people. He's kind of America first.
I don't know about America first. I don't know about America first. This nigga's very global when it's for his benefit, if we're going to be honest.
I disagree with that, bro, because he's done a lot of things. Like you saw how he was beefing with NATO, and he was beefing with a lot of these European countries because he was trying to make them pay more money because he didn't say it was unfair for us to have to foot the bill.
But he might beef with NATO for specific reasons, but that doesn't mean he doesn't have international outside of American allies that he's looking to strategically gain as partners and so forth. He's not always America first. This nigga big up. I mean, he be jerking off Putin pretty heavy.
Jerking off Putin, bro. Let's be real. No, that's not.
You don't think so?
No, I think that a lot of times this Russophobia is a little bit ridiculous. Where we were just like we were just like attacking, the beer, the beer guy. They took the brunt of World War II, and I think we were just doing that together. But for some reason, it's like I think we just want to be the global power to where if Puerto Rico did to us what Ukraine or Cuba's a better example. Do you remember we were going to invade Cuba because they did less than what Ukraine is doing to Russia? But I think it's a bit hypocritical.
Bro, do you understand the history of like USSR, Ukraine, Russia? Like that's a whole different comparison.
Yeah, very much so.
Whole different comparison. It's like not even a comparable Cuba to US, Ukraine to Russia.
They was gonna put nukes on our like back door.
And we're gonna do the same with Ukraine. But when Russia reacts to that, then all of a sudden we don't understand why Putin has a problem with it.
Hey, fellas, I think that
got nukes over there.
I didn't know that we have like some foreign policy legs. Maybe we get into a Ukraine Russia conversation where we can fully unpack it. I don't necessarily want us inside this specific conversation to derail too deep into that. But yeah, it sounds like there's a fire conversation sitting there. We do have.
Kamala.
You said what?
I was just saying, just to round that up, we can bring it back to Kamala and just. I wonder how many international leaders and countries will fear her or respect her. Even we got our own misogyny going on with the attacks, but internationally, those leaders in those countries they got a different treatment of women and stuff in general. So like I kind of wonder how that would play out on the international scale in her foreign relations with other countries. Will they respect her? Will they fear her? Will they try her or what? But That was just a question that made me think about the international side of it.
Gotcha. All right, so we do have one of the unpacked favorites. We have Kofi in the building. So right now I think we got 3 in the back end, kind of waiting. So Kofi, I'm gonna start with you. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes, kind of talk to us, let us know what we got right, what we got wrong. You said that we sounded a little misinformed in here. Talk to us. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, 2 minutes won't be able to cover it as always. I mean, it's the same thing. Like
We'll
I said,
keep you on,
time.
but like we got to keep the whatchamacallit, then we'll have a full conversation with everybody.
All right. Basically, I mean, like I said the last time, you guys seem extremely have a lot of MAGA propaganda, because when you look at the thumbnail, we're supposed to be talking about Kamala Harris and Trump, but it seems y'all only have smoke for Democrats only. I'm sitting here, listen to this. Me and my wife, we're driving. I'm like, is it just me? She's like, no, they just dumping on Democrats like the Republicans are the answer. So, for example, you're saying that the last election was stolen. Again, totally Republican. Maybe what states y'all live in.
The whole panel didn't say that, though. The whole panel didn't say that. Like a
Not
couple
the whole
people.
panel, but it's something. The fact that it was entertained and no one had the correct information to dispel that Republican propaganda just is what I'm saying. So the election wasn't stolen because you had Trump had his attorney general, William Barr, that told him it wasn't stolen, right? What happened in Georgia with the election for so-called election fraud with Fannie Lewis, the AG down there, is prosecuting him because of the evidence that they have that it wasn't stolen, right? You had Trump went to all courts because he says widespread voter fraud, right? He went to over 50 courts. Or even the judges that Trump appointed said there is no point of wide election voter fraud. That's why he went to January 6th. That's why January 6th happened, because Mike Pence didn't break the law, right? That's why you also had Fox News that was going to spread all these lies about election fraud. Dominion voting machine and Smartmatic were the 2 machines that was used at an election. Fox News told so many lies that Smartmatic and Dominion voting machine sued Fox News, and Fox News had to give them hundreds of millions of dollars. Around that time, that's when bye-bye Tucker Carlson, because Tucker Carlson was also a part of spreading all those lies. So when you guys have these there's other things, but I know my time is limited, but for example, when you guys have these conversations and you don't have all these things to rebut what is being said, it sounds like you guys are diehard Republicans, right?
Gotcha.
It's a G, I'm not a diehard Democrat. I'm liberal.
Hey,
I'm left of Joe Biden.
Kofi,
go ahead.
So actually, I think G probably was strongest on that.
He said G is a diehard Democrat. Is that what Kofi said? I just want to make sure.
No, you said I was a diehard Democrat.
No,
and I said I'm not.
The comments said that. The comments.
Oh, my
said
bad.
That. The comments said that.
Yeah, so Trey, I'd love for you to go ahead and I guess rebuttal. I know you had some thoughts when it came down to the stolen election.
I think,
or if it was a stolen election, my bad. I framed that horribly.
First thing, I think we should calm this down. It seems like it's a very spirited disagreement to where I'm just saying it seems suspicious. It is what it is. I mean, I understand. I heard everything that you said as far as like, I know we fought in the court and they couldn't prove anything, but it's just hard for me to believe that Biden was got the most votes of any candidate of all time. And then how it happened overnight, how he came through. I can't prove it. So I'm not trying to die on that hill, bro. I can't prove it, so it really doesn't matter. I really just want to talk about Kamala Harris because I can't prove it. You're right. I give you that. That's why I'm not
okay, but
like it was stolen. Like you're like, it wasn't stolen, bro. No, I'm just chill, bro. It's not that deep.
Fair enough.
No.
Go Kofi. Go ahead. Land the plane.
No, I'm not saying I mean, you say it's not that deep, but I mean, you're saying something with validity. Like we have to have proof. You know, you have to separate the facts from your feelings. So all I'm saying,
that's all I said. Suspicious.
But I can't
be suspicious.
No, there's suspicion there if you don't know something. That's why I'm saying what I'm saying to erase your suspicion, because you didn't
erase my suspicion. I knew those.
Let's move on to the next point. Y'all end up talking in the circle right here. I think that Kofi, you kind of drove home that part. So matter of fact, what we'll do is we got another favorite. And we got 3 more in the back end. So again, I'm gonna just slowly start bringing y'all up.
I hope they pro Democrats too. I hope they like want to cheer on the Democratic Party with like never.
So we got Kamu. Talk to us from over the seas.
What is vote?
Yeah, give us a quick 2 minutes of your take on the political sphere here in America. What you've heard, thoughts.
Kamu finna box you up, Trey. What?
Yeah, he about to fuck it up, man.
What's the word?
For me, yeah. For me, I don't think you all should be worried about voting. I mean, black men, in as far as America is concerned, you should be putting your effort on, coming together and making yourselves a solid block. You could give that to your sisters. They could go and vote because, I mean, most often than not, black women really feel that voting does something for them. But in as far as brothers are concerned, I think you should focus on coming together and pulling your resources. I mean, at the end of the day, you are the richest group of Africans. I mean, you are the richest group of black people in the world.
Thank you, brother.
That should chill out, bro. That should bro, these guys. That should mean something. Pull your resources together, build stuff for yourself until you get to a point where you feel that you are organized enough, and then you could go back to this voting crap. But at the current moment, for now, voting is just a clownish thing to do, bro. Like it's not gonna get you anywhere.
Camu, with these last 50 seconds, I'll ask you this: do you feel the same way in Africa, South Africa, about voting?
Yeah, I mean, my country specifically, the last elections, my country, we are 60 million. Obviously, black people, it's like 55. But when you look at the people who registered to vote, it was like 28 million. The actual show up of the voting, it was like 16 million. You understand? So people understand that voting doesn't necessarily change shit. I also feel that as Africans, we need to organize and make ourselves a solid block before we start this thing of voting. Voting doesn't change anything.
So fairly same energy. All right, Kamu, I'm go ahead, Trey.
That's a good point, bro. Because I think voting would be beneficial for black people if we could vote as a block. But if we can't get our sisters to vote with us, if they want to get Kamala Harris, then at that point, then like, what's the point? Black men not voting is just as impactful as voting because they rely on our vote as a Democratic Party. So if we don't want them to win and we don't vote for them, they're not going to win anyway. So what's the point in fighting with our sisters about some shit? Like, we could just not vote. We don't have to explain ourselves.
Gotcha. So we have a new caller. Is it Solely? I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce it.
You said it correctly.
Solely?
Yep.
Okay. So I'd love to get your opinion on the conversation that we're currently having. Yeah, talk to us.
Okay, so I've been in and out. You guys have talked about a lot of different things. I have not heard everything. So is there something specific you want me to comment
gotcha.
on,
So yeah. So I guess we'll just go with the overarching conversation. We were having a conversation about Kamala Harris in general. And it can kind of go from whether like you are for or against her, like what you heard about what you heard from us. If you agree, if you disagree, it's kind of your platform to kind of give commentary on what you've heard and your opinion on it.
So,
but the main topic is Kamala Harris,
right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think at this point, I think multiple things about her. Before she blew up, like even in 2020, I knew who she was. probably largely because my mom followed her career. My mom went to Howard. I went to Howard. But I think what we're seeing now is a couple of things. I do think that there are Black women, obviously, and other women that are excited to see someone now 20 years younger than Biden, than Trump, and a woman. But I also think that the excitement that we're seeing is really a rejection of Trump. It's not just about Kamala. It's that folks got scared. Like, oh shit, Biden really dropped out. So if the Democrats pressured him, and if they think this white boy can't beat Trump, ain't no way a woman can, especially not a Black woman. Let us jump in and donate our little $5, whatever we can. That's how she was able to raise the $81 million in 24 hours, which was never
Sheesh.
seen before. I really think that a lot of this is folks are truly just rejecting Trump and scared that it could have been Kamala. Black folks would have probably been mad if they would have skipped her just because, I mean, she is the VP. That would have been disrespectful. But again, I think that if it was somebody else, we would be seeing some of the same thing. Like some of this excitement is not simply because she's a Black woman, it's a rejection of Trump.
Gotcha. And where do you land at personally?
Personally, I would have voted for, like, if they would have skipped over Kamala, yeah, I would have like, that's you guys are tripping. Like, Democratic Party, what are you doing? First, you want to oust Joe a couple months before the election. So whether you like Joe or not, the party looked crazy for doing that. Like, if that's what you wanted to do, y'all could have done that last year. You could have done it before he announced. Like, you guys had time. So you already look unorganized. If you would have skipped over Kamala, it's like, come on, what are you doing? But I would have voted for whoever else. Now, do I like Kamala? I do. And what's crazy is you would like as a woman, as a Black woman, and someone who went to Howard, you think I'd be like jumping up and down for Kamala. Now, don't get me wrong. If she wins, you gonna see me on Instagram posting, jumping up and down, doing all of that. Right now, am I doing all of that? No. I mean, Kamala's cool, but I am going to vote for her. I
Okay.
am going to volunteer. I'm going to do what I can because I really don't want Trump in office. But
Okay.
I guess if I had to pick my first Black woman president, it would not be Kamala. But don't ask me who it would be. I don't
It'd be
have an
Michelle
answer.
Obama. We know.
We'll see. To be fine, but that's idealistic, right? Michelle did not want Barack to run. You know, Michelle didn't want that, so Michelle has no interest. But I mean, sure.
Gotcha.
So
Hey,
yeah.
Soli, really quickly, let you stay on love your opinion, because you might be the first pro Kamala person that we have on here. So as we continue the conversation, just kind of just stick here. Bring up one more. We do have Sesh Majid Unk is in the building. Unk, talk to us. What is your thoughts?
What it do? What it do? How y'all doing? Blessings,
Good.
Hey, love you,
Yo, look, I'm great to turn some heads on this one, but I'm not out with Trump because Trump is a professional liar, and I don't know, what I'm saying. My whole thing is that he just lies and lies and lies, and I can't vote for somebody that's gonna lie that much. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not against. I just hate Trump. Hell, Trump did a lot for Black people that people don't know. You understand what I'm saying? But right now he's elderly, and if you look at him and listen to him talk, he talk just as bad as Biden does. You know what I'm saying? He just babbles and babbles and never answers anything when you ask him a question, and he believes his own lies. And the worst thing you ever want is a person that believes their own lies. He lies and then he believe it, and he think you gonna believe it. 50 Cent said it in one of his songs. He said, I don't want, you know what I'm saying? He said, a thief is after my salary, but a liar is after my reality. Fuck you want a motherfucker that's after your reality for real. He like, you know what I'm saying? He wants you to believe that his life is the truth. And that's the only reason. If Trump would have been Trump from 30 years ago, I'd fuck with him. But I can't fuck with him being the liar that he is today.
All right,
And
so
I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to
let me ask you this.
Kamala.
So
I'm sorry, we good.
no, yeah. So with that said, what is your thoughts on Kamala? Has she done enough to earn your vote, or you just kind of having voter apathy?
Man, fuck
You
Kamala.
might sit out.
For real.
Facts.
Fuck Kamala, Kamala, or whatever the hell they call her, whatever it is. I put her in office before I put that lie in office. That's my opinion on it. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
I don't give a damn about her. But I don't want to put his lying ass up in there. This is a lying son of a bitch that sit around and lie to you. He'll lie to you and tell you, you're not black. And got to look at you straight in your face.
I never
And you
say
know
that.
you black. And hell,
I never.
he might say he black. That's
You
how
heard?
much
Did you
he
hear?
lie. He just
Did you hear when he
lied.
said?
Who the hell want to deal with a liar all the time?
Gotcha.
Because if he lie that much, he'll lie about everything else he does, and he gonna lie about policies. He gonna lie about everything else that goes on. He knows nothing. Hell, the man sat up there and didn't answer nothing during the debate. The whole debate, he didn't answer anything. And I know that y'all gonna tell me I'm out of time or whatever, but y'all know I'm telling the truth. This man just lie. Y'all vote for that his lying ass if y'all want to. He gonna lie y'all ass to death.
Gotcha. All right. Go ahead. Hey, Black.
Speaking of the debate, real quick. After the fact checks came out, Joe Biden and Trump lied equally. But I just wanted to add that they all lied.
Yeah, that was true.
But after the fact
Q
came out the truth.
Yo, Q.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. All right. So and this is what we'll do. Right now we'll kind of do just a fairly rapid fire section. Where we'll kind of just go around the horn. I'll put 1 minute, and we can kind of just ping pong the conversation in that. And then I have one more prompt to kind of throw out to everybody to kind of end the show. But Kofi, we'll start with you.
No, I just my wife was listening to the whole thing. She kind of want to put her 2 cents in it. Is she allowed to talk real quick? She want to give her opinion.
Oh yeah, go ahead. No, again, hey, shout out Solely. Hopefully call back in. I know we lost.
Give wifey 2 minutes. Give her 2 minutes. Q.
I'll give wifey 2 minutes. You got 2 minutes. Talk to us.
Hi, good evening, guys. So I was just listening along, right? I'm a novice, so I'm coming in here. And my thoughts that I want to put on the table are basically, I hear a lot of, yeah, we're not supporting Kamala. I'm a Black woman, right? I hear of Kamala. I don't think of her in a overly endearing way, like, oh my goodness, yes, this is what I want. But what I do think of is the idea that I don't want Trump in office enforcing stop and frisk, which he has blatantly put out that he's going to put back into place. So who do you think that's affecting? You say you want something tangible. Is that not tangible enough? The idea that because every last one of you brothers on here, right, will be very, very at risk for being stopped and frisked, right? It gives them a no hold bars, which leads to death. And especially if we look right now today at someone like Sonia Macy, right? Shot in the face in her home. Trump also wants to institute bringing us back to being a military law governed country, right? Do you know what that means? That means that, hey, we thought something was wrong here. We shot you in the face. We're immune. We have immunity because we were carrying out military business. If these things are happening now, how more horrible do things have to become for us to say, yeah, we don't want that? Mm-hmm. I don't want Kamala, but I know I want something tangible, like I don't want stop and frisk. I don't want to have to worry about my son walking out the block and being harassed.
Oh, my bad. Kamu, I think that's you. Let me mute you.
How many of those?
I get the ideas that you're saying. I get a lot of the things that you're saying, right? And you're saying, oh, democracy has shortchanged us. They haven't made any changes for us, right? I get those things. But are we putting it in context of the idea that the Republican Party is outright not doing anything? They're not even trying to pretend they're going to do anything. You know, so what do we do at this point? Yes, we have to be strategic. And if I'm voting for something that's going to keep me safe, right? At some elementary level, because at this point, yes, that's where we're at. I feel like once we at least get ourselves safe, then we can work on ideas like the brother talked about earlier. Oh yes, that you men working together and coming together and trying to build up our communities, and women, you know, doing our part. I feel like yes, we can institute that, but we can't institute that if you on the way for a meeting to meet up with your brother and now you're stopped and frisked.
Okay, so
can I ask you real quick? Did Trump do that? Did Trump do that? I mean, why would you think that Trump's going to do that this time if he didn't do it last?
Because he put that out as a statement as recently. He just
he's been on the
campaign trail. He's on the campaign trail, and he's talking about all the things he's going to do, and he's blatantly saying that.
This is all about a Project 2025.
I'm assuming he may do. This is he's on the campaign trail, and this is what he's put out. This is what he has verbally said from his own mouth. You go Google it, research, fact check me, you're going to see it.
And it's in Project 2025. Project 2025.
I like Project
2025. Not even Project 2025, because let's say he's trying to deny that, right? So let's give him that. Whatever, I don't care. But this is aside from Project 25. He has said this on his campaign trail. You can go Google it. It's in ink. It's in black and white. This is something that he is spreading as one of his running campaign facts. This is not something that he's denying.
Gotcha. So I guess I'll give kind of the floor for y'all to respond. So what she's saying is that inside, I've seen multiple clips of recent Trump rallies where he is saying the idea of bringing back stop and frisk, and you know what I mean, like that is a real thing that he's stating currently right now. I didn't get the chance he's in Charlotte right now. I didn't get the chance to watch the speech nor the recap of it. I'm not sure if he kind of went down that hill today, but it has been a recent narrative that he's pushing, being harder on crime, bringing back stop and frisk. Black, it looked like you kind of want to chime in.
Yeah, I just had a quick question of kind of all these things people fear that Trump is going to do. How many of them have to be approved by the House and the Senate? Like, candidates say a lot to rile up their base, and they don't do shit when they get in office. Joe Biden, for one, did the same thing, and a lot of his things got shot down by the House and the Senate. So why do people think that he can just hop into office and that these things are going to be approved by the House and the Senate?
Okay, but that's why you don't understand Project 2025. Project 2025 says he's going to gut the FBI, the CIA, not just replacing the head.
Okay.
Hey, hold on, really quick.
I thought we said defund the police.
Hey, not fellas.
I don't want to go into 2025. I want to simply say to that the idea that
really quickly. My bad. Kofi had to mute you. So let's try and we're gonna go to the 1 minute thing now, where the ping is not really happening properly. To where we'll start with Trey, then we'll go to Kofi, Black. Soli, it looked like you had something to say as well, so we'll kind of go inside that order. Giving everybody just a quick second to kind of get their points off to make sure that everybody is able to finish their complete thought and just articulate their point properly. Who did I say first? Trey.
Said me. Yo, I'm gonna try to be quick with it. Hopefully I get some time back later. But first off, you're not gonna be able to win a lot of black men over with this fear mongering. Like from when I look at Trump, I'm like, what did he do last time? I'm not if it wasn't that bad. So you can't tell me like, oh, Trump's gonna put us, like Biden said, he's gonna put us back in chains. Man, you're gonna have to give me a tangible if you want my vote. And that's
you're a Trump supporter. Most Trump supporters.
You gotta allow him to finish his point.
I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm a policy supporter. compare the two policies, and I don't see anything in Kamala's policy that I'm a fan of. I do see a couple of things that Trump has that I am a fan of, and also Trump had the platinum plan. Kamala Harris said she will not do anything for Black people. So if you compare those two together, then why would I pick the person who says she's not going to do anything for us? And then quick, you said I'm kind of curious why we have this divide with the younger and a lot of the older generation. Not that you are older generation, but people that are a little, you know what I'm saying, older than me, like they're kind of like vote blue no matter who, no matter what. I had a question for you there. And solely, you were saying,
well, I would say that Unc he's a registered Republican.
Hey, you
so,
cut us a minute.
Oh, that makes it even more confusing. And then
yeah, I think he just doesn't like Trump per se. But that's the minute. Let me go to the who did I say next? Was it Kofi or A Black?
I think it was Solely.
Oh, Solely. All right, my bad. Solely. Solely, talk to us.
Damn, bro. I have a question for Solely, man. Because I want to know if she wants Kamala Harris to do anything for the Black people before she votes for her. Or
I wanted to answer Trey.
I'm right to you.
Hey, let Solely go. Let Solely go.
Well, for what Kamala said was she wasn't going to do something that was only going to benefit Black people. But understand, in this country, anything that is good for us, that is good for Black people, is good for the whole country anyway, period. If the middle class is thriving, if poor people weren't so poor, that's better for everyone. But as far as policies go, as we know, yes, you need Congress, right? So, of course, there's certain things that you can do just by executive order. But the things you can't, you need 2/3 of Congress. So the way a policy like stop and frisk could come back into law on the federal level is you have 2/3 of Congress. So if people vote in Republicans for their senators and for their Congress, for their House of Representatives, that's how you can have that. Then you can have it at the state levels because you can have Republican governors and you can have people that follow that lead. So when you say, okay, he didn't do that before, that it's not an impossibility. Keep in mind, Brett Kavanaugh and some of these other crazy ass Supreme Court justices also said Roe v. Wade is the law of the land. We're not going to change it.
10 seconds.
What did Brett do? What did they vote on? Right? They changed it. So like these things aren't impossible.
Gotcha. Kofi.
Yeah. To answer what Trey, what did Trump do for Black people? You said you're a policy person, which I don't believe, but you say based on a policy Trump did some. What did Trump do for Black people?
So are you yielding your time?
Yeah, I just want to answer the question real quick. He said Trump did something for Black people. What did he do for Black people?
Keep on going.
Borders. You can go though.
How was that something directly for Black people? What borders? The southern border?
Because it's hard for a lot of Black folks who have certain trade jobs to be able to compete with people who are being trafficked and living like 10 deep in the house.
So you're saying Trump closed the borders for Black people,
and that solely benefits Black people.
Okay, all right. I take my time back. That's insane. We all know that's a lie.
No, keep your time to tell us what Democrats did for us real quick, so we have balance. What did Joe Biden do this?
I'm not making that claim. I'm not making that claim. My claim is that no presidential candidate since the civil rights era is going to do anything for Black people. That's the difference between me and you guys that lean mostly right towards Republicans. Me as an independent, I could say both parties ain't going to do nothing. But as a strategic move, I could say it's not without Trump trying to gut. So to answer your question, what the young lady just said was also true, because Trump's gonna gut all the government programs. Not like he's gonna just have a head of CIA, head of FBI. No, he's gonna gut everybody and only put in loyalists. Like the sister was saying, she's gonna, like the sister said, he's gonna pack the court with the Supreme Court with conservative judges. That's why you have that dynamic of Roe v. Wade, right? So if you have loyalists, that is FBI, CIA, right? And in those groups, whatever says is going to get passed. That's un-American. Trump said he's going to get rid of the Constitution. Trump is a rapist. Trump is a racist. Trump said Africans is coming over here. Criminals are coming over here and they're coming from Africa.
All right,
Trump is a convicted racist. Like, I mean, what are you guys talking about?
I do agree with Kofi in the sense where like I said earlier with the whole voting thing, I don't think either side is going to do nothing for us because they haven't. That's why I asked, what have Democrats done? I'm not leaning Republican. I'm critical of Democrats. I'm critical of both sides, and neither one of them doing anything for us, which brings us back to this excitement with voting or pushing for Kamala or pushing for Democrats when it's kind of the same repetitive cycle of us all voting for them and not getting anything for it. So I don't think Republicans are going to do nothing for us. I don't think Democrats are going to do nothing for us. Like, so that's been my take the whole time. Like, we've been talking about Kamala, so that's why it seems like it's heavily leaning towards Republican because I've been critical of her. But my criticism isn't me supporting Republicans. So I just want to make that clear.
Facts, say Black, same.
And let me jump in there too. If A Black is done,
go ahead, G.
So
in my bad, I added 2 minutes. And Quincy, I see you in the back end. We're gonna bring you up in a little bit.
So like, it's like I agree that like the energy behind Kamala has less to do with her as an individual and her qualifications or even her likability versus the hatred for Trump. It's really the Floyd Mayweather effect. It really don't matter who's up at bat here. They want to see if he's going to lose. And what I feel is such a detriment to like us as a people is like the fact that so many people are like dying on that sword of it can't be Trump. Like moving in fear, making decisions, making fear-based decisions are not smart decisions historically.
Facts.
Like there is a mechanism in us that like, you know, like you have that fight or flight type of thing where you're completely like back up against the wall, but that's not where we are personally. I don't see it as such. And I feel like instead of emphasize, it's like this idea of nobody's going to do anything for Black people, but we see examples of them doing things for Asian people, for gay people, for Jewish people, for all types of people specifically, but yet Black people can't get anything specific done in modern times. It's not acceptable. But yet we accept it and just say nobody's going to do anything for us. I don't think that's really beneficial for our mindset moving forward. And I think that this idea of just we're afraid of Trump, so that's why we're voting, is what's got us in this position in the first place. It's not healthy. It's not a healthy relationship with the Democratic Party as a community.
Got it. Johnny.
Hey, Black, I'm just listening.
Okay. All right. Camus.
Okay. Obviously, Trump is racist, and I think we figured out that you're not gonna get anything from him, in as much as you haven't been getting anything from the Democratic Party. But I want to take it a notch high. If you look at his previous administration, Trump, I think, might be the only president in America that didn't instigate war on an international level. So that should be something. Other than the domestic mandate, I think Trump for America, in as far as international relations is concerned, might be a little more suitable than Kamala Harris. Yeah, I think that's the only up thing that Trump has as compared to the fake Black woman.
Okay.
Hey, can I say one last thing?
Because that wasn't correct. I kind of respond to Kamu because he was wrong about that in a way, kind of. Kamu, so we were in wars already, right? Due to Trump's he hired people that put out a lot of fires. He killed the Iranian General Soleimani, right? Iran could have responded back with military force, but they didn't, right? So that's one thing he did. He threatened China that he was going to start a war with China. and
So,
China was about to get ready for.
Who killed Soleimani?
I'm sorry.
Who did you say killed General Soleimani?
Yes, he killed. Trump killed General Soleimani. Trump did that. The Iranian's top general, General Soleimani, he killed him. Right? He killed him, and they were about to. And people were afraid World War III was going to happen. Well, according to Trump, World War II, because he's an old fart. He can't. He's absent-minded. Right? Then the whole Jamal
Hey, just to be sure, hey, but he was killed before Trump even officially took office. Just as an FYI.
No, it's not true. Trump was.
No, you can look it up. Look at his assassination date and look at when Trump took office. These dates do not match up. I just want to say, Kofi, they don't match up.
He killed Abu, whatever his name was. I forget his name, but it was a terrorist.
We talking about the Iranian general that Kofi specifically named.
That, like, we weren't doing anything. We were dropping bombs and
exactly.
There were still those things happening under Trump.
And then he almost started a war with China, and then the general had to say, no, we're not going to attack you. We're not going to attack you. And he also moved the embassy into Israel. All those things were supposed to start it and provoked it. It didn't happen, but he did a lot of things to provoke war, more wars that we were already in. So it's not like Trump is competent. Even his general was saying that he's an idiot. His attorney general says he's an idiot. William Barr says he's a fool. His vice president is not endorsing him. No one is endorsing. That was in Trump's front cabinet in the past. Most of them are not endorsing him.
Gotcha.
What else is favorable?
Hold on, Kamu. So it looked like we probably got about 20 minutes left. I think that probably will give us a chance for everybody to kind of go around one more time, in which I'll leave y'all with a prompted question. Use the time as you feel, but the prompted question would be let me see if I can find it. Here we go. So today, if given the choice, who are you voting for, Trump or Kamala? Again, this conversation has been about Kamala, and like whether you want to say her fit, if she's a good candidate, if she's divisive, XYZ, which kind of leads us all the way down to the road at this point today with what we know, information that has been given, and the two choices that are given at the moment. Who you voting for, Trump or Kamala? Start up top with G. We'll kind of just go around the horn. Again, answer how you feel, but that'll be the prompted question.
The short answer is I don't know at this moment. I don't have an answer of who I'm going to vote for, or if I even will vote. If I'm being frank, I don't know how that's going to play out. And I'm giving everyone a fair chance to like demonstrate to me why they should earn my vote. I don't think I need to make that decision now when the election's not till November. If I'm being honest, like that's what the campaign is for. Like earn my vote between now and November. Show me why that it's worth me voting for you versus the other party. So I'm gonna give both parties the opportunity to demonstrate to me why it makes sense for me to vote for whomever. But I just want to also point out like this idea of like what Trump is saying as if like all politicians don't lie on their campaigns. Like I said, like Trump can say what he wants. He said he was going to build a wall. There ain't no wall. He said he's going to make Mexico pay for it. Them niggas ain't pay for shit. Like he says a lot of things. He tells a lot of lies. So it's like my thing is like we can be critical of the lies that he says, but then we shouldn't argue that he's saying these things as if it means something. It's like, we know this nigga lies. He doesn't tell the truth. So why take his word when he says he's going to do something when he's clearly just playing to his party? So that would be one sort of rebuttal there, is like, this guy Trump is not what he even says he is himself. He switches up his own rhetoric, even on abortion over recent time. So like that's not going to always stick. And as it relates to that Iranian general, he was assassinated on January 3rd, 2020. The election happened November 2020. So I'm just saying, just by timeline of events, like if we want to be like so big on facts, let's just be factual and state that this Iranian general is not somebody that that was under the Trump administration. He was actually killed in January 2020, months before even the 2020 election.
Got it. All right. Trey, minute and a half. What you got for us? Talk to us. So again, the prompt question is today. If given a choice and you had to choose between Trump, Kamala, where you going?
I was gonna say one answer after listening to G. I was like, man, I agree, man. In negotiation, you don't lay down until you get the most you can out of that negotiation. So I think it'd be very foolish to go ahead and give our vote to the Democrats or the Republicans until they, we're on the fence, we're on the side, and what you're gonna do for us? Make it sweeten the deal. I might vote for you. If you don't, then I won't. I'll say right now, as far as I think benefits and tangibles.
So I guess to avoid everybody from saying that exact same statement over and over, because I think that'll probably be like the easiest answer.
You got to
which way would you be leaning towards? I think that yes, today the best thing to do.
I lean towards sitting out right now.
All right, so sitting out. Trey,
I'll say it's the toss up between me with the couch. The couch might have a slight edge just because of the time where we are right now in the election. And I'll wait till we see what more tangibles come out. But right now, if it's tangibles, Kamala versus Trump, Trump is leading a little bit. Kamala doesn't have anything for the.
All right, so if given a choice today, probably lean towards Trump. Okay,
yeah.
It's the easy.
Johnny,
Trump. Like if I gotta go right now, based off what I have seen, I'm going Trump. Like I say, I'm not voting tomorrow, so I have every right to change my mind between today and November. But like right now, it's Trump. Trump has showed me more as a leader than anybody else in this country right now, and that is sad to say. I'm not cheering for Trump. I ain't want to say, but if he's the best leader we got, we need to look at ourselves as a country.
All right, you got one more minute. Well, you got a minute left. When you say that, what do you mean by that? You said that. You said Trump has shown you more as a leader than anybody else in this country. What do you mean by that?
Bro he said I took a bullet for democracy and it was my honor. I'd be willing to do it. That's what he said. Like, who else took a bullet for democracy?
Dog. Oh, Johnny P. You funny. Yeah.
All right.
That's the difference between North Carolina and South Carolina. I just want to say, but
yeah, he is a South Carolina boy.
But look, who you gonna vote for? G?
I'm sitting it out, bro. Neither one of these niggas is for me.
He said he's saying you copping out. That's what he's saying. G.
No, it's not. That's making a very conscious decision.
No,
I don't want to participate.
G, it was a choice. It was Kamala or Trump. It wasn't no sit out. It was Kamala or Trump.
Yo.
We coming around the circle. We just walking it down. Kofi, minute and a half.
Yeah, it is too early to decide, and I don't think nothing's going to change as much significantly from now to November. So, as a black man that's well informed and not going based off of emotions and fear, I mean, I think I've got a lot more to learn. I got 3 boys. As a black man, I'm not going to vote for a staunch racist and a rapist, right? Who has an agenda that he's gonna fulfill, right? And like my wife said, stop and frisk is gonna be back a thing. He's gonna give police all this military on power. Me from New York, right? The Central Park 5, that's innocent up to this day. He's saying the Central Park 5, New York doesn't have the death penalty. He still says they're guilty, despite the fact that they've been exonerated through DNA evidence and a person confessed to the crime. As a black man, I'm not gonna vote for someone who wants to see my demise because I'm misinformed, right? I suggest everyone really study the candidates of who they are or what they're gonna offer. If they're not offering us anything, fine. Right, but as right now, my position is Trump is a threat to democracy. You have a person that says he throw away the Constitution. He wants a person that wants to be a dictator. He loves Kim Jong-il. He loves Vladimir Putin. Right. So I don't understand any.
Now Kofi, that's the time. So that sounds like
all right, cool.
Kamala then, correct?
At this point in time, yes.
Okay. A Black.
So quick response to Johnny and Trump saying he took a bullet for democracy. Everybody laugh at that. They don't believe it, but they do believe that he will do stop and frisk. They do believe he'll give police immunity. So there's selective things on what he says that people believe. I'm leaning more towards the middle. Kamala just got pushed in our face 3 days ago. I would like to see them in a debate. You know, I'm not in fear of Trump. I don't believe a lot of the things he's saying would get passed by the House or the Senate. I think he says whatever to rile his base up. I think he caters to his base. But I'm not in fear that he's going to do this. You know, police are going to be police, whether it's Kamala or whether it's Trump. They're going to hunt black men down. They're going to stop and frisk us. They're going to do all of these things anyway, like they have done historically. But I would like to see them in a debate. I would like to kind of see what the Republican Party can put against Kamala. But yeah, right now, neither one of them got my vote. This system hasn't made me feel like my vote really matters, that it's going to really
So if you had to choose, either way, just off all the information that you have at this specific moment,
I gotta choose one of them.
Just gotta choose one right now.
One or the other.
Obviously, like this isn't final, and literally your opinion will change. But
I would have to go with my best interest. Would benefit me, and that would be Kamala winning, because I'd probably become a millionaire off of the t-shirts I would sell.
There you go. There you go.
She would kill that nigga in a debate. I don't even want to. I don't know. I think Kamala and Trump in a debate would be hilarious in a way where, like, it would be very beneficial for Kamala, not Trump. Yeah.
All right.
Look, ironically, this is something that's very ironically. Her name is Kamala, right? But everybody keep calling her Kamala. And the day she got put into place for being the vice president, the real Kamala died, the wrestler. But anyway, let me go further more on this. Let me tell you something. Listen what I'm trying to say to you. This
Johnny,
all facts, I'm telling you. That's real. This is all real. It's weird. But anyway, Kamala, you know, she do what she do. But you know what I'm saying? She dodging this, she doing this, and I ain't gonna do nothing for black people. Hey, she not gonna do it. She ain't gonna do it. But you know what I'm saying? At least she was real when she said that. Trump would have said, I'll do everything for black people. Black people gonna have this, that, whatever. Ain't gonna lie. I'm just tired of liars. Both of them lie, but Trump lie and he believe his lies. That's all I'm saying to you. But you have to look at everything far as in the whole, right? You know what I'm saying? You look at it like this right here. The Democrats are losing because they're bad fighters. You know what I'm saying? They don't know how to fight. The Republicans get together and do this, whatever.
10 seconds. Well, 15 seconds.
The Democrats pushed their best candidate out of office. Their best candidate, they got pushed out of office. Now they put her in there. Who the hell gonna vote for her? Nobody. None of y'all don't want to vote for her. Nobody want to vote. But I'm gonna vote for her because I don't want Trump. And why? It ain't got to do that. I just don't like his lying ass. And y'all gave everybody else, but you always got to do this to me. Love you,
no,
but you do this
no,
all
listen,
the time.
Hey, love you.
I just did it to 3 other people. It just happened repetitively.
You do it to me all the goddamn time. Every goddamn time you do it to.
Gotcha. I appreciate you.
Love
you.
Here we go. Love you too, man.
All right. I can't see the name. At the bottom.
Is that Don P?
Oh yeah, Quincy. You got a minute and a half.
Can't hear.
Yeah, we get you.
All right, cool. Real quick, man. So that's 2 minutes. Okay, cool. Really quick. I'll vote for Trump right now, mainly because I feel like the Democrats need to lose, and they need to lose badly before they start doing right by the people, and more importantly, by black people. I feel like the goal overall with Democrats is to get votes from black people without making no promises. If y'all remember back in 2014, during that first Black Lives Matter, the first riots, the first protests, there was a DNC email leak where they said pretty much, listen to them, but don't make promises. The Trump boogeyman didn't work. We've been through it 4 years. It didn't work. So they amped it up with the Project 2025, and that kind of got that actually worked on a lot of people. There has been no presidency in the history of America where black men or black people has been safe, just in regards to what the young lady said earlier. As far as Sonia Massey, the young lady who got shot in the face, the only difference that would change would be she would get shot in the face, but at least we would have a black woman president, quote unquote black woman president, because Biden was supposed to pass that George Floyd Act, but he didn't. Last thing is, for me, it's less about red and blue, and it's more about black voters renegotiating our partnership with the DNC. And I know just to wrap
15
it up.
seconds. Yeah.
Yep. Mainly because symbolism, just like the old record labels, they would never get an artist any real masters, anything. They give them a Cadillac, they give them a chain. Kamala is a Cadillac and a chain, but ultimately nothing's going to change with her presidency for black people. That's it.
Yeah, that was good, quick, and concise. Great points. Soli, wrap us up. Got a minute and a half. Talk to us.
Okay, so very quickly, I would vote for Kamala as far as police reform and things of that nature. That is also why it is more important, and I'm not saying don't vote for president. Obviously, I think you should, to vote in your local elections. Pay attention to who your DA is. Pay attention to who your mayor is. Your mayor appoints your chief of police. Also, if you are not registered to vote, you can never be on a jury, right? People always complain about, look at that jury, it's all white. Well, the reason why the brother has an all-white jury is because y'all won't register to vote. So you have to pay attention to your city, your local election. Also, yes, they were not able to get the George Floyd bill passed because Republicans rejected it. They wouldn't sign it, right? But then Biden went ahead and signed an executive order for the same stuff. He signed an executive order about police accountability, public safety, blah, blah, blah. I just wanted to throw that in there. And as far as war, right now, America supports Israel, right? Obviously, I think Israel's wrong. Fine. But we are not at war. Just to clear that up. Yes, we're giving aid to different countries, but right now, America's not at war. I just wanted to throw that out there because somebody said something about us being at war.
Okay, fair enough.
Hey, it's 3-4. It's 3-4. We need you and G to answer the last Kamala or Trump. Who's gonna win?
You need me and G.
It's 3-4. It's 3-4 right now.
Like right now, if I had to make a choice, I would lean closer to what Quincy said, to be honest. Like I'm not scared of Trump, so I don't think that 4 years under Trump would like ruin America or any shit like that. But I do think that a mass exodus of the black vote from the Democratic Party inside of an effective amount would actually give us leverage for the next election. So that's where I would go.
So your answer is Trump.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I had to choose, like right now,
so it's
hopefully Kamala, like she give me a Cadillac and whatever else he said.
It's 4-4. What's up, G?
It's crazy because I really wouldn't vote for neither one of them right now. This is just my honest opinion. If it's like making me choose is like
y'all forced in the box, G.
It's like
hey, Black said he doing it for the t-shirts. Come on, so you got to run it.
It's on you,
man. If I had to choose, honestly, all right. So here's the real. If I had to choose, I would go ahead and elect Trump. Get him his 2 terms. And he's out of here. Don't have to worry about him again in future elections. Because if you elect Kamala, guess who's gonna be on the ticket in 2028 if the nigga's still alive? So I would just get Trump out the way, make it like unconstitutional for him to ever run again. He'd be a thing of the past, and the Trump era would be over. That would be my reason for saying let's not prolong this. Let's get Trump in office and get him out the way. Hey, that's where I'm leaning right now.
G ain't no real feminist.
That'd be if I had to. I'd also like to say
I support black women, Trey.
My wife didn't vote.
This Trump thing is going to be forever. This is a new thing. He has his own political party. He's not a Republican. He has his own party. So you can do whatever you want to. He's the boogeyman. The boogeyman is forever.
I don't believe in it. Yeah, I'm not. So, hey, let's end the show real quick, and we might have some after hours conversations for a second. But nonetheless, this has been an amazingly spirited and fun conversation on Unpacked. Again, catch us next week with another amazing topic. Streaming live on the To Be Fair show and the G-ish podcast. We got Trey up top. We got A Black. We have Johnny. We got often frequent contributors Kofi, Unk, aka Sess Majid, and a new voice today, Soli. And with that said, again,
Hey,
no matter who
Sunday,
you actually decide to, oh yeah, Sunday 4:30. Check us out. Continue the conversation. And like that,